Chapter 2240. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief after destroying the super teleportation portal. Then they joined the crowd and began to discuss how to leave this place. On the other side, Taiyi Dynasty General's residence. The general's residence was still in ruins, and the ground was cracked. However, there were many people around. All of them had powerful auras and cold expressions. They were obviously experts. The one standing at the front was naturally General Xianing. This time he would personally lead a team to the Jiuli dynasty to capture Lin Xian. This was only the vanguard team. After this, there would be a second and third batch of teams. In short, there would be countless experts on the move. In front, the huge super teleportation portal shone brightly. General Xianing took a step forward. Dozens of figures stood beside him. The rest of the people waited on the spot. Because they could not teleport so many people at once, they had to teleport in batches. Let's begin. General Xianing said coldly after he stood up. Buzz. There were a few elders around him who quickly cast spells. The super teleportation portal under their feet lit up. Runes rose into the air and wrapped around their figures. Buzz, whoosh. A terrifying spatial energy spread out. But in the next moment, it quickly disappeared like a tide, disappearing without a trace. What was going on? The surrounding people were puzzled. General Xianying's face also darkened. What's wrong with the teleportation? He was unhappy. Why did so many unlucky things happen to him during this period of time? So he asked coldly, what's going on? Could it be that our teleportation portal is damaged? It's not that our teleportation portal is damaged. Our teleportation portal is intact. It's that there's a problem with the Jiuli dynasty. There's a problem with the Jiuli dynasty? What's going on? Could it be that they turned off the super teleportation portal? Didn't we send them a notice that we're going to teleport over? We don't know. We need to confirm it. A few elders walked down from the teleportation portal. Then they activated another set of teleportation portals. That was the portal for transmitting messages. They wanted to ask the Jiuli dynasty. Half an hour later, these people received the results. The elder said, quickly, General, something happened in the Jiuli dynasty's Wanrun city. Something happened? What happened? Did that kid cause trouble in Wanrun city? No, nothing about that kid. But at this moment, there's a beast tide. Moreover, the scale was very large. The city had already been sealed. There was a beast tide and the city was sealed. Hearing this, General Xianing frowned. Could it be that the teleportation array was also destroyed? The exact reason was unknown, but it should have been destroyed. We can't teleport over for now. We can only wait for the other side to be repaired. However, due to the beast tide, it would take some time to repair. If Wanrun City was destroyed, would there be any problems with White Cloud City? White Cloud City was safe. There was no problem. All right then, let's go to White Cloud City first. No matter what, he had to capture that kid when he reached the Li dynasty. These people activated the formation again and prepared to head to White Cloud City. Soon, the light flickered and the figure on the formation disappeared. Li dynasty, Wanrun City. At this moment, the city was packed with people. The atmosphere was extremely tense. Around them were endless roars that shattered the void. Terrifying demonic energy shot up into the sky and dyed everything red. But fortunately, Wanrun City had a super strong defense, blocking the attacks that filled the sky. However, there were too many demonic beasts. Among them, there were even some terrifying demon kings. Wanrun City was trembling nonstop. This made these people even more nervous. Whoosh! Boom! At this moment, everyone cried out in surprise. This was because dozens of figures had appeared in the sky. They were so dark that they covered the entire sky. Boom! Countless projections landed below. Everyone in the city looked up. They cried out in surprise. Damn it, demonic beasts! Oh no, lightning birds! Everyone was shocked. These dozens of demonic beasts were extremely terrifying lightning birds. They opened their mouths and spat out bolts of lightning that landed continuously. They bombarded the countless light screens and caused a shocking explosion. Boom! 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 Energy exploded, and air currents spread. The sky above everyone was penetrated by endless lightning. The terrifying energy made their hearts palpitate. Roar! More than a dozen lightning birds, each dozens of meters long, spread their wings and circled in the sky. They shot out bolts of lightning and bombarded the formation below. In the city, the martial artists shouted crazily and activated the killing formation to chase away the lightning birds. Boom! Countless lights flickered and runes condensed. Sword Chi shot up into the sky and slashed at the sky. Ka ka ka! However, these lightning birds were unusually fierce. They were very fast and flew quickly in the sky, dodging the sword chi. Pirates must die, boom! At this moment, an even larger shadow appeared. It was like a dark cloud that covered the sky. Accompanying it were thunder clouds that filled the sky and terrifying demonic chi. Oh no, it's the Lightning King. Damn it, attack! The martial artists below screamed crazily. Even more resplendent energy surged, trying to repel the huge Lightning King. Boom! Boom! However, the Lightning King was too powerful. It was definitely a 7-star demonic beast king. Moreover, it was a mutated beast of heaven and earth. Its strength was even more terrifying. Therefore, in the face of the terrifying sword chi, it stretched out its sharp beast claws and grabbed at the sky, shattering the countless sword chi. Whoosh! It spread its wings and countless lightning bolts descended like 2 dark clouds. These lightning bolts were too terrifying. They were much more powerful than the previous ones. Therefore, these lightning bolts struck the light screens and caused them to tremble violently. The light screens kept trembling as if they would crack at any time. Oh no! The Lightning King is not an ordinary demonic beast king. It's one of the leaders of this beast tide. Stop it quickly, or it will be very dangerous. The guards in the city roared and activated the killing formation again. Boom! Boom! In the sky, there was an intense confrontation. Crack! However, after hundreds of moves, a small crack suddenly appeared on the light screen in the sky. Then a small hole appeared. Then endless lightning bolts poured down and struck down crazily. Boom! 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 The buildings in the city were destroyed and the ground was charred black. Many people were directly hit by the lightning. Some exploded and some were seriously injured and vomited blood. In short, the city was in chaos. Damn it, the formation was broken. The guards guarding the city had ugly expressions. However, at this moment, a cold snort came from the general's mansion. Then a figure soared into the sky. It was a middle-aged man. His body was emitting light like a sun. Accompanying him was a terrifying aura. Buzz! In the middle-aged man's hand, there was a large black bow that was drawn into a full moon. Boom! In the next moment, a black arrow flew out like black lightning, flashing in the sky. In an instant, it passed through the defensive formation and pierced into the sky. Chapter 2241. Whoosh! A black arrow flew out like a bolt of black lightning, flickering in the air. In an instant, it passed through the defensive formation and pierced into the sky. A sea of lightning exploded in the sky, and a terrifying energy surged. The Lightning King screamed miserably, and a large number of feathers and blood fell. It roared crazily. Then it led the dozen or so lightning birds and quickly left. It was injured. The Lightning King was injured. Seeing this scene, everyone was extremely shocked. Who was that middle-aged man? He was too terrifying. However, more people cried out in alarm. The city lord had made a move. That's right, it was the city lord of Wanrun City. He was a peerless powerhouse. When he saw the formation above his head shatter, he finally made a move. The arrow forced the Lightning King back and scared it away. However, after the city Lord chased the Lightning King away, he did not have any joy of victory. Instead, his expression was extremely solemn, because, looking from the sky, there were densely packed demonic beasts outside. They were like waves that kept surging over. If they only guarded, they would not be able to hold on. Therefore, at the next moment, he said loudly, "All the guards in the city, listen up. Activate the formation to resist the demonic beasts. At the same time, the elite team will go out with me to kill the enemies." Yes, figures in armor rose into the air. They held long spears, sabers, and swords in their hands, and their bodies were filled with killing intent. At this moment, when they heard the city lord's voice, they raised their arms and shouted. Their voices were like the cries of 10,000 beasts. It was extremely terrifying. That was not the end. The city lord said loudly again, "Now, as the city lord of Wanran City, I offer a reward for killing the demonic beasts. The reward is to be able to leave on the spirit boat first. After the demonic beasts retreat, the first spirit boat will head to Qianshan Domain. Whoever kills the demonic beasts will be qualified to sit on the first spirit boat." Hearing this, everyone was shocked and began to discuss animatedly. Many powerful people's eyes flickered, and they looked eager to give it a try. However, the city lord continued, "Although this is a reward, I still want to remind everyone, if you're not strong enough, don't go out. I don't want you to die for nothing. From now on, we will open the passage every 2 hours for martial artists to enter and exit. Each time, the passage will only be open for half an incense stick of time. You must seize this opportunity. Now, let's go." With a cold shout, the city lord took the lead and strode out. Behind him, a dense crowd of martial artists followed. These were all martial artists from the city lord's mansion. At this moment, they were brimming with murderous intent, looking as if they were facing death with equanimity. They soared into the sky and left Wanran City. Not only that, in all directions of Wanran City, light vortexes appeared one after another. This was the passageway. It could allow other martial artists to enter and exit. Should he make a move? These people discussed animatedly. Among them, some of the bolder ones directly stepped into the vortex and left the city. Some of the others were also gnashing their teeth. Damn it, these demonic beasts were really despicable. Do you really think there's no one in the human race that can stand up to you? Kill them all. Many people soared into the sky and entered the vortex. However, some people also shook their heads, their faces pale. Stay outside for 2 hours? What a joke! He would definitely be killed. That was tens of thousands of demonic beasts. It was no joke. Therefore, the majority of the people stayed behind. Because, from the looks of it, the city wouldn't be broken in a short period of time. It was absolutely safe here. If they went out, they might be able to leave earlier, but there was also a high chance that they would die. Pirates will die. In the crowd, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The right to leave earlier? Hearing that, the corners of his mouth curled up and his eyes flickered. He had long wanted to leave Wanran City so that he could escape the pursuit of Tai dynasty. However, unfortunately, the beast tide had appeared, making it impossible for him to go out now. However, the city lord actually stated such a condition. To him, it was simply a great temptation. Thinking of that, Lin Xian did not hesitate. His figure flashed, and he entered the vortex. Lin Xian's departure caused the surrounding martial artists to discuss. That kid dares to leave the city? How audacious! Yeah, I don't feel any powerful aura from that kid, and he's too young. Can he do it? Could he be a prodigy? Or a prodigy from a large family? Some people were puzzled. However, more people shook their heads. I've never seen him before. He looks very unfamiliar, and he doesn't have any family symbols on him. He's probably not a disciple of a large family. Those people shook their heads, thinking that he would be courting death if he went out. He's probably too young and doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Soon, Many people went out, and the vortex in all directions gradually disappeared. It would take 2 hours for it to open again. As for whether or not they would be able to return after 2 hours, that would be up to fate. In the city, the other people were watching. Many of them rose into the air and looked into the distance. That was because they wanted to see how the battle outside was going. After all, those who dared to go out were the elites of the city. There were even many mighty figures. Thinking about it, he should be able to resist and kill quite a number of demonic beasts. Whoosh! As soon as Lin Xian left the city, he felt a terrifying storm around him, as well as a monstrous aura that blotted out the sky and earth. Looking around, there were densely packed demonic beasts of various attributes and forms. There were all kinds of demonic beasts. It was extremely terrifying. Boom! As soon as he appeared, dozens of beasts pounced on him. There were cyan-patterned leopards, black demonic wolves, ghost hornets, and so on. In short, they were all very terrifying beasts. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Countless sword lights rose from his body and circled in the sky. In an instant, all the beasts that approached him were all cut in half. Puff, puff, puff. Corpses fell, and blood sprayed, dyeing the void red. However, it was useless. There was an endless beast tide around, and the corpses of these dozen beasts were quickly drowned. There was not the slightest splash. Then more beasts charged over. Boom! 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 Lin Xian made a move to clean up the surrounding beasts. At the same time, the warriors who came out all began to fight. Among them, the group led by the city lord was the most powerful. As soon as they appeared, they used terrifying martial arts and instantly crushed a large number of beasts. Blood gathered and surged in the sky. This scene immediately attracted the attention of those powerful demon kings. Roar! The Lightning King from before quickly charged over. Not only that, there was also a single-horned python. Its body was 10,000 feet long, and it was like an earth dragon that galloped quickly. In addition, there was a demon rat that was like a small mountain. Its teeth were abnormally sharp, and it could cut through the void with a gentle shake. It was also an extremely terrifying demon king. These demon kings all charged over and fought with those mighty figures and the city lord. Boom! 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 A shocking storm swept in all directions, and countless beasts were sent flying. For a moment, a vacuum area appeared in that place. However, not all martial artists were so strong. There were also some unlucky ones. Monthly votes exceed 50 more chapters. Wait for 80 more chapters. Chapter 2242. A few people were directly teleported into a pack of wolves and were instantly swallowed by hundreds of demonic wolves. There were also a few people who were teleported in front of a powerful bear king and were smashed into a bloody mist with a slap. They didn't even have the time to scream. In short, the demonic beast side was very tragic, and the human side was also very tragic. For a time, the battle was very intense. Some people fought alone, and some people joined forces. Some people formed killing formations, and some people could even control demonic beasts. In short, all kinds of methods were endless. It had to be said that those who dared to come out were all elites. There were no weaklings. Boom! A terrifying energy burst out. A bare-chested man waved his fists nonstop. His fists were like mountains, blasting open the void and shattering countless demonic beasts. None of the demonic beasts that approached him could survive. This person was so strong. Who was he? In the city, the spectators were shocked. You don't even know him? You don't even know Iron Fist Xiao Kuang. What? He's Xiao Kuang. No wonder he's so powerful. His fist technique is indeed extraordinary. Exclamations of surprise could be heard. Clearly, many people had heard of the fierce man in front of them. In the crowd, the red-clothed woman who was saved by Lin Xian was also there. There were also a few people beside her. The red-clothed woman looked at the scene outside the city and kept clapping her hands. Great, Brother Shao is indeed powerful. Of course. The surrounding middle-aged men also had confident smiles on their faces. At this time, a middle-aged woman said, "However, other than General Shao, there were a few people who were also so powerful. That old man was from the Divine Fire sect, right? Looking at the cultivation technique he used, it should be correct." In the distance, there was a red-robed old man who kept spitting fire. The terrifying fiery red lotus spread all over the ground and burned many demonic beasts. That woman is also very powerful. However, I can't tell which sect she's from. At this moment, many people exclaimed softly, because they discovered that there was a beautiful figure among the demonic beasts, like a fairy from beyond the heavens. She wore a veil, and her body was emitting multicolored light. There was a lotus platform under her feet, which spun and slashed out terrifying rays of light that pierced through the surrounding demonic beasts. There was also an immortal flower in her hand. With a light wave, tens of thousands of rays of light scattered out, sending all the surrounding demonic beasts flying. What a strong woman! For a moment, many people's gazes were attracted. Boom! Boom! At this moment, there was a shocking explosion as countless sword chi filled the area. Streaks of blood-red sword light shot up into the sky. Everything within 100 miles was submerged. Heavens, who is this? Everyone was stunned. Just who was the one who released such a terrifying sword chi? For a moment, everyone's gazes shifted over. Then they were extremely shocked. It was that brat. Many people cried out in alarm because they discovered that this was the brat that they had thought would not survive. Damn, this brat's strength is actually so strong. As expected, he had hidden his strength well. Unexpectedly, he was really a young prodigy. These people were extremely shocked. That's right, the one who attacked was Lin Xian. He used the demon-slaying sword formation, and streaks of terrifying sword runes rushed out. In such a place, it was most suitable to use the slaughter sword formation. As expected, when the blood-red sword chi filled the sky, the blood of the beasts that had been killed all gathered in the demon-slaying sword formation. This caused the power of the sword formation to increase once again. Boom! At this moment, an angry voice suddenly came from afar. The ground cracked open, and a purple centipede that was 1,000 feet long crawled out from the crack. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, directly piercing through the void. Its terrifying aura made everyone's scalp go numb. Not good. It was another powerful demon king. The faces of the people in the city changed when they saw the scene. Just in time. Iron Hand Shao Kuang saw this scene and laughed loudly. His figure flashed, and he rushed over like a meteor. The fist in his hand kept swinging, and terrifying fist shadows blasted forward. Roar! The 1,000-meter-long centipede roared angrily. It spat out balls of purple venom, melting all the terrifying fist shadows. Damn it! What a powerful beast! The burly man roared and suddenly retreated, leaving a series of afterimages in the air. The void where he was originally was wrapped in purple liquid, and then it pierced through, forming a black hole. What a terrifying demon king! In the city, the martial artists saw this scene and cried out in alarm. The woman in red and the others were also worried for the burly man. Iron Cloud Fist! The burly man roared and waved his fist. Balls of metallic luster appeared on his fist. Pirates must die. Then a terrifying fist mark tore through the void, bringing with it an unparalleled power as it blasted out. A great battle broke out. A man and a demon king fought in an earth-shattering manner. It was extremely terrifying. However, this demon king was too terrifying, and his entire body was filled with poison. As long as one touched it, even a supreme being would be seriously injured or even die. It could be said that this battle was extremely dangerous. However, What shocked everyone was that the final result was the victory of the burly man called Xiao Kuang. The purple centipede was incomparably terrifying. Its 1,000-meter-long body was pierced through, and countless bloody holes appeared. In the end, it directly split open, turning into balls of purple liquid that scattered in all directions. Everything that came into contact with it melted. The surrounding demon beasts also crazily screamed as they were wrapped in the purple liquid and turned into a pool of blood. The burly man looked up to the sky and roared. His black hair danced wildly, and he stood in the void like a god of war. Seeing this scene, all the martial artists in the city sucked in a breath of cold air, and their faces were filled with shock. It was too shocking. Such a terrifying demon king was killed so easily. It was enough to show how terrifying this burly man's strength was. The red-clothed woman and the others also heaved a sigh of relief. Brother Xiao was indeed powerful. The surrounding people were also extremely shocked. As expected of Iron Fist Xiao Kuang, his reputation was indeed well-deserved. That's right, that was an expert of the Hong sect. His iron fist was probably unparalleled. In the distance, Lin Xian looked at the scene, and his eyes flickered. This burly man was indeed powerful. It seemed that the Central Continent was indeed a place filled with outstanding talents. Peerless experts could be seen everywhere. However, at this moment he frowned. In the next moment, he waved his arm and a sword chi slashed out. The direction was precisely Xiao Kuang's direction. What? Seeing this scene, many people were stunned. Xiao Kuang also frowned. What? Someone dared to attack him. They really didn't know what death was. However, in the next moment, his pupils shrank. Something wasn't right. They didn't attack him, because right beside him, the void suddenly split open, and a dark, red, poisonous thorn suddenly pierced towards his back. Not good. Seeing this scene, Xiao Kuang's scalp went numb. He roared angrily, and countless steel-like patterns appeared on the surface of his body. His strength exploded, and his body suddenly moved horizontally. However, the dark red poisonous stinger was too sudden and too fast. As a result, it firmly locked onto him. It looked like it was about to stab him. Chapter 2243. However, at this moment, a sword light slashed down and sent the dark, red, poisonous stinger flying. Clang! The sword light flashed and sent the red, poisonous stinger flying. He was saved. Xiao Kuang heaved a sigh of relief, and a hint of gratitude appeared in his eyes, because previously he thought that someone wanted to ambush him. But he didn't expect that the other party didn't ambush him and instead saved his life. Thinking of this, he looked around, trying to find the person who saved him. In the city, the warriors were also exclaiming. They had the same thought as Xiao Kuang. Now it seemed that they were wrong. Who was this person? He was so powerful that he could sense the danger ahead of Xiao Kuang. Yes, not only did he know in advance, but the speed, strength, and timing of his attack were just right. He was definitely a top expert. Could it be the elder from the Divine Fire sect? Sounds of discussion could be heard. However, soon they were stunned because in the distant battlefield, Xiao Kuang's figure swayed and flew in a direction. Thank you for saving me. Xiao Kuang arrived above a blood-red sword formation and said loudly, "Buzz!" A vacuum appeared in the demon-slaying sword formation, and Lin Xian stepped on the air and arrived above. He said calmly, "It was nothing. It was just a small matter." What? Who was it? When everyone saw this scene, they were all stunned. They didn't expect that the person who saved him was a young man. This kid was too powerful. Who was he? Which sect was he from? I don't know, but why do I feel that he was just lucky? What a joke! He definitely wasn't lucky. He must be a top expert. Everyone discussed intensely. On the battlefield in front, Xiao Kuang was also very surprised. He didn't expect that the person who saved him was a young man. Moreover, he was so young. From the looks of it, he was only in his 20s. He was also curious about the other party's identity. So in the next moment he cupped his fists and said, "I'm Shao Kuang from the Hong sect. May I know your name and which sect are you from?" "I'm a rogue cultivator from the Longxian sect." Lin Xian reported his name. He didn't use his real name because he was still wanted by the Tai dynasty, so he used an alias. When the two of them were talking, they didn't stop. The demon-slaying sword formation under Lin Xian's feet was still attacking in all directions. An iron cloud domain appeared on Shao Kuang's body. The terrifying energy kept bombarding the surrounding demonic beasts. Rogue cultivator? Hearing this, Shao Kuang was shocked. To be honest, he did not believe that the other party was a rogue cultivator. But come to think of it, the other party must have some secrets, or perhaps he was unwilling to reveal his true identity. He didn't mind at all. The next moment he smiled and said, "Young Master Long, how about we join forces?" Shao Kuang's eyes lit up. Because killing ordinary demonic beasts was too boring, he had long since set his eyes on a demonic beast king. However, that demon king was even more terrifying than the 1,000-year centipede. He was probably no match for it alone. Okay, Lin Xian nodded and did not refuse. In the next moment, the two of them turned into streams of light and soared into the sky. Their target was the lightning bird in the distance. Boom! However, they had only flown halfway when a roar suddenly came from a few thousand meters to their left. Ka ka ka! The earth split open, and another colossus appeared. This time, as soon as the demonic beast appeared, terrifying demonic clouds floated in the sky, and a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Another demon king. This demon king was also very large. Its body was like a mountain, and its body was covered in yellow scales that looked like thick battle armor. "Earth Demon Pangolin," many people exclaimed. As soon as this huge pangolin appeared, its huge beast claws covered the sky and directly smashed a part of the void. The direction of the beast claws was where the mysterious woman was. "Pirates must die, Buzz!" The mysterious woman stepped on the lotus platform, and the immortal eye in her hand danced nonstop, sweeping out rays of divine light that continuously bombarded the front. The two collided in the air, and energy waves spread out in all directions. Seeing the scene, Lin Xian and Shao Kuang both stopped. Especially Lin Xian, his eyes flickered, and he frowned slightly. Previously, when he saw the mysterious figure, he felt that it was somewhat familiar. Now that it was so close, he felt that it was someone he knew. "Kid, look at what she's using. It seems to be a cultivation technique of the Jade Lake." At this moment, the Crimson Dragon's voice came from the Black Earth. Lin Xian was extremely shocked. Jade Lake Sacred Ground's ability. Could it be Qing Qing? Lin Xian's heart beat wildly because Murong Qing Qing was in the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. But had she come to the middle ground? He didn't know because he hadn't seen her in a long time. No matter what, since she was from the Jade Lake Sacred Ground, he naturally had to help. Therefore, at the next moment, he said, "Brother Shao, let's go over there and kill that Earth Demon Pangolin." Okay. Shao Kuang also laughed. He didn't care which beast they killed. What he cared about was whether the Demon King was strong or not. This Earth Demon Pangolin tore through the 9 heavens as soon as it appeared. It was definitely a powerful Demon King. The two of them changed direction and flew toward the huge pangolin. In front of them, a great battle broke out. The mysterious woman held the immortal eye and attacked with a terrifying attack. This attack was definitely able to threaten a peerless powerhouse. Boom! Boom! The Earth Demon Pangolin roared and kept retreating, but there were no obvious injuries on its body. It couldn't be helped. Its thick armor was so strong that it seemed to be able to resist everything. Not only was its defense strong, but its attacks were also extremely fierce. Therefore, the mysterious woman kept dodging and seemed to be at a disadvantage. However, although she seemed to be at a disadvantage, the mysterious woman didn't suffer any injuries. She was obviously at ease. She probably still had a lot of trump cards that she hadn't used yet. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, Lin Xian and Xiao Kuang arrived. Sister, don't be afraid. I'll help you. Xiao Kuang laughed and punched out with the iron-cloud divine fist. The terrifying fist landed on the pangolin's body, and a rumbling sound was heard. It was as if 10,000 bolts of lightning were descending. On the other side, Lin Xian also waved his hand, and the demon-slaying sword array completely enveloped the pangolin. Streaks of blood-colored sword qi intertwined, forming terrifying demonic beast phantoms. They roared in all directions and pounced toward the pangolin. The void in front of them exploded in an instant, and the surrounding demonic beasts all turned into a bloody mist. Even more demonic beasts frantically fled, not daring to get close. With the addition of 2 experts, the pangolin was instantly at a disadvantage. Its body was constantly attacked. However, it was unharmed. It had to be said that it was really shocking. When the mysterious woman saw that someone had come to help, she heaved a sigh of relief. In the next moment, she turned her head and saw a burly man and a handsome young man. However, when she saw the handsome young man, she was clearly stunned. She even stopped in midair. "Brother Xian, it's you!" The mysterious woman cried out in surprise, and her voice was filled with excitement. Chapter 2244. "Brother Xian, it's you!" the mysterious woman exclaimed. Her voice was filled with excitement. Hearing the shout, Lin Xian also turned his head to look. Finally, he saw the mysterious woman clearly through the light that filled the sky. Qingcheng! Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect the mysterious woman to be Morong Qingcheng. Wasn't she cultivating in the Jade Lake, sacred ground in the East Continent? Why was she in the Middle Continent? Moreover, she was in the middle of the Beast Tide. You two know each other? Beside him, Xiao Kuang was also extremely surprised. Lin Xian's body flickered and appeared next to Morong Qingcheng. The two looked at each other, their eyes filled with excitement. "Brother Xian, be careful!" At this moment, Morong Qingcheng exclaimed. Then, the immortal puppet in her hand danced quickly. Boom! In the sky, a terrifying beast claw grabbed at them. Its powerful aura extinguished the light on their bodies. Humph! Lin Xian snorted and turned around. His eyes shone with a sharp light. He said, "Qingcheng, let's talk later. Let's work together to kill this guy first." Clang! He pulled out the ancient Dragon Abyss sword and slashed. Boom! Boom boom! Roar! The terrifying sword Qi tore through the void and slashed at the earthy yellow beast claw. In the next moment, blood spurted out and a crazy roar was heard. It was injured. Xiao Kuang was shocked. On the other side, Morong Qingcheng's eyes were shining. The warriors in the city were even more shocked. Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so powerful. He injured the pangolin with a single slash. So powerful. This is a young genius. The team from the city, Lord's Mansion, was also shocked. They had noticed the pangolin when it came out. The pangolin was a rare beast of heaven and earth. Its attack power was strong, and its defense was terrifying. It would be difficult to penetrate it. Even the city lord was wondering if he should send experts to restrain the pangolin. The pangolin was too difficult to deal with. It couldn't be eliminated in a short time. However, before they could take action, on the other side, a young man had actually injured the pangolin with a single sword strike. How could they not be shocked? Boom! The pangolin roared crazily. His eyes glowed red, and his demonic aura swept through the 9 heavens. The sky was filled with demonic qi, covering the entire sky. The entire sky turned gloomy, and the biting cold aura caused the blood and qi in one's body to rumble. Not good. This beast had gone mad. Be careful! Xiao Kuang roared. The iron cloud domain revolved around him. His expression was incomparably solemn. On the other side, Lin Xian and Morong Qingcheng also had serious expressions. King domains rose from their bodies. Older brother Xian, let's end this quickly. I have so much to say to you. Murong Qingqing did not want to waste any more time here. Good. Since Murong Qingqing had said so, how could Lin Xian hold back? Whoa! A sharp sword intent burst forth from his body, and the great dragon sword soul in his body began to revolve wildly. Chaotic heaven destroyer sword, heaven shattering. With one sword strike, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. Flying flowers. Murong Qingqing also used the wavering light, sacred lands, great divine ability. Countless petals danced around her, and it was abnormally gorgeous and dreamy. However, no one dared to underestimate it. Every petal contained a terrifying killing intent that could easily pierce through an almighty. The two's terrifying killing moves covered the sky and the earth as they rushed over. Boom! Boom! All of them landed on the pangolin's body. The pangolin kept retreating, causing the ground to crack. Terrifying cracks appeared on his body, and blood instantly dyed the ground red. What? These two were actually so terrifying. Seeing this scene, the cultivators in the city exclaimed. The city lord was also shocked. These were definitely two young geniuses, and they were the best of the best. The combat strength of these two had to be at the level of a peerless almighty. Many of the older generation sucked in a breath of cold air. At the side, Xiao Kuang was also shocked. Although he thought of himself as a madman, he felt that he was no match for these two young men and women. However, in the next moment, he also laughed loudly. A sharp light appeared in his eyes, and the aura on his body suddenly rose. His entire body emitted a metallic luster, and mysterious runes appeared on his skin. Fist shatters mountains and rivers. Xiao Kuang roared angrily, and his black hair danced wildly. His fist struck out with terrifying energy, directly splitting the ground and shattering the void. Pirates must die. This punch was truly terrifying. Boom! 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 The three of them used their powerful killing moves, and the pangolin was forced to retreat as it roared angrily. It resisted crazily, but it was useless. The three of them were incomparably terrifying, especially Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing. Therefore, after dozens of moves, the pangolin was already on the verge of death. After another dozen or so moves, its huge body exploded into pieces with a boom. It was killed. Such a terrifying demon king was actually killed so easily. Everyone was stunned, and they could not believe it. The other monster kings in the surroundings also let out angry roars, and the monsters on the ground kept wailing. Next, Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, and Xiao Kuang joined forces and killed another powerful monster king. And at this time, the 2 hours were up. The three of them flashed and returned to the city. Soon, they entered the whirlpool and arrived at the city. The other warriors who had left the city also returned one after another. This was because the 2 hours of battle had consumed a lot of their energy. After all, this was not an ordinary battle, but a life and death battle with thousands of monsters. Therefore, the consumption was extremely terrifying. Of course, only a small portion of the elites returned. Most of the warriors were killed, and even their bones were eaten by the monsters. Those who returned were severely injured, and there was a slim chance of survival. Like Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, and Rong Qingqing, who were not injured at all, there were none. Brother Xiao, see you later. Lin Xian turned his head and greeted Xiao Kuang. Then he pulled Murong Qingqing, and the two of them turned into flowing light and flew into the depths of the city. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing went inside and found a place with fewer people. The two then hugged each other tightly. After not seeing each other for such a long time, they naturally missed each other. Therefore, the two of them swallowed pills to recover their energy while telling each other what happened during this period of time. Murong Qingqing's matter was very simple. She had been quietly cultivating in the Jade Lake sacred ground until she broke through recently and became a powerful expert. However, Lin Xian's matter was not so simple. When Murong Qingqing heard about Lin Xian's magnificent and soul-stirring story, she couldn't help but cry out, especially when she heard that Lin Xian had killed the battle race's genius. She was even more shocked. Her beautiful eyes were filled with shock and worry. She was no longer a simple little girl, but the Jade Lake sacred ground saintess. She had naturally heard of the legends of the battle race. It was an ancient race that was said to be born for battle. Their strength was incomparably terrifying. However, such a terrifying genius was actually killed by Lin Xian. How could she not be shocked? Chapter 2245. But now Murong Qingqing was more worried, because killing the prodigy of the war race would definitely incur the wrath of the war race. Moreover, she now knew that Lin Xian was wanted by the Tai dynasty. She was afraid that the situation would be very dangerous. Therefore, Murong Qingqing asked, "Brother Xian, do you need me to use the power of the Jade Lake to help you?" "No need. Don't worry, the world is so big. It won't be easy for them to find me. Moreover, I'm not so easy to defeat." Lin Xian smiled. This was a battle between him and the war race. He didn't want the other sacred lands to get involved, and he didn't want Murong Qingqing to be injured. "Oh, right, Qingqing, why did you come to the Nine Li dynasty this time?" Lin Xian was also very puzzled. "I came here this time for two purposes. You haven't come to find me for a long time, so I have to come out to find you." With that, Murong Qingqing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian chuckled. "Am I not being hunted? Humph." Murong Qingqing snorted softly, grabbed Lin Xian's big hand with her small hand, and gently leaned on his shoulder. Then she said, "I've already completed the first mission." However, there was still a second mission. "The sacred lands asked me to investigate the nest of 10,000 dragons." News of the nest of 10,000 dragons. Hearing this, Lin Xian was also surprised. The crimson dragon came out of the black earth with a whoosh. "Murong girl, you know about the nest of 10,000 dragons." The crimson dragon was incomparably excited. Murong Qingqing looked at the crimson dragon and was also surprised. "You're still here? I thought you had already escaped." F***CK. Hearing this, the crimson dragon was speechless. What a joke! How could Ben Huang escape? Hurry up and tell me, do you have any news about the nest of 10,000 dragons? Why are you so concerned? Murong Qingqing blinked her beautiful eyes. Lin Xian also said that we are also looking for the nest of 10,000 dragons, but there is no progress. Is older brother Xian looking for him too? Murong Qingqing was surprised. Then he said, "Actually, we don't know much either." He only knew that the nest of 10,000 dragons was in the middle ground, but he did not know where exactly it was. However, according to our Jade Lake Sacred Grounds calculations, the nest of 10,000 dragons will appear in the world soon. However, we don't know the exact time. Maybe a year or two, maybe 100 or two. Moreover, according to the Sacred Lands analysis, the Nine Li dynasty was very likely to be the location of the nest of 10,000 dragons. Of course, it was only a suspicion. Because there have been many beast hordes in the Nine Li dynasty recently, we suspect it has something to do with the nest of 10,000 dragons. It turned out to be like this. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. He didn't expect there to be such news. The crimson dragon's eyes flickered. Indeed, this beast lair might really be related to the nest of 10,000 dragons. Why don't we capture a few demon kings and explore it? That works too. Lin Xian also nodded in agreement to this suggestion. After all, the nest of 10,000 dragons was the legendary land of the Dragon Clan. There must be countless heavenly treasures inside. If they could find it, it would definitely be an earth-shattering fortune. He was different from Murong Qingqing. As the saintess, Murong Qingqing had the resources provided by the entire sacred land. However, he was alone, so he had to work hard for all the resources he needed. Since they were ready to attack again, the two of them did not hesitate and immediately recovered their strength. 2 hours later, the two of them opened their eyes and set off again. What? They still wanted to go out. Seeing this scene, everyone in the city was shocked. They did not expect that this pair of peerless geniuses would still want to attack. Buzz! Murong Qingqing and Lin Xian's figures flashed as they entered the vortex and walked out. When they went out, countless demonic beasts fled, not daring to approach at all. There was nothing they could do. The two of them had killed several demon kings previously, which had already terrified these demonic beasts. Although they were violent, bloodthirsty, and loved to kill, these demonic beasts were not fools. For a moment, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing created a vacuum where no demonic beasts dared to approach. Of course, ordinary demonic beasts did not dare to approach, but it did not mean that the demon kings did not dare to approach. When the demon kings saw Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing, their eyes were piercingly cold and filled with monstrous killing intent. It was these two despicable humans who had killed many of their companions. Roar! Just at this moment, the Lightning King roared. It flapped its wings and charged over with terrifying thunder and lightning. With a loud boom, thousands of lightning bolts descended, turning the world upside down. The Lightning King's huge body covered the sky and emitted an endless sea of lightning that pierced through the void. This scene was too terrifying. The power of a peerless demon king's anger was definitely unimaginable. Buzz! Lin Xian's dragon sword field instantly rushed over, and then sword Qi flew out from the field. The sword Qi turned into sword spirits that danced in the air. There was a total of 36,000 divine swords that covered the sky. Boom! Boom! At the next moment, the Lightning King collided with the sword Qi that filled the sky, emitting a deafening sound. Roar! The Lightning King roared, and 9 terrifying lightning balls appeared on its body. They connected to form a mysterious pattern that shattered all the sword Qi. So powerful, the martial artists in the city were shocked. 9 balls of lightning floated in the sky, completely revolving around the Lightning King. They formed a dense lightning rune, bringing with them a monstrous power as they pressed forward courageously. Whoosh! At this moment, Murong Qingqing also made her move. She waved the immortal puppet in her hand. An endless light appeared like a rainbow that slashed forward. These immortal puppets and the lotus platform under their feet were the secret treasures of the Jade Lake sacred ground, and they were extremely terrifying. At this moment, they were extremely powerful. Boom! 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 Endless divine light scattered down, and the sea of lightning that filled the sky was pierced through. Boom! 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 The Lightning King was in pain and was forced to retreat. Countless bloody holes even appeared on its body. Roar! With a furious roar, 2 huge wings slashed toward Murong Qingqing like heavenly blades. Whoosh! Murong Qingqing controlled the lotus platform and quickly dodged the terrifying heavenly blades. The void where she was previously was slashed open with a 1,000-meter-long spatial crack. Rizalong! Lin Xian shouted, and then the Crimson Dragon let out a dragon roar. Roar! The sound waves rolled forward and instantly enveloped the Lightning King. Woo! Woo! Hearing the dragon roar, the Lightning King's body stiffened and stopped in midair. Deep fear appeared in its eyes. Its body even trembled. It was not only the Lightning King, but the monster kings that were fighting in the distance were also shocked and kept roaring. Pirates must die. Their eyes were filled with uneasiness. The surrounding ordinary monsters were all prostrating on the ground. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Whose roar was that? Could it be that an even more terrifying monster king had appeared? Everyone was dumbfounded because the scene was too shocking. Thousands of monsters prostrating on the ground, was definitely welcoming a monarch. It was unimaginable how terrifying the monster king that let out that sound wave was. Chapter 2246. Even those peerless powerhouses frowned. On the city lord's side, the city lord's eyes flickered, and his gaze pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. They did not know that the sound wave was emitted by the Crimson Dragon. That was because the Crimson Dragon did not show up at all. It only roared in the black earth, and the sound instantly resounded through the world. In fact, they did not even know where the source was. Buzz. At this moment, Lin Xian made his move. While the Lightning King was in a daze, he stretched out a palm. On his palm, a dragon-shaped phantom appeared and turned into a huge azure dragon hand. It covered the sky. This palm was too terrifying. It covered 1,000 miles and completely enveloped the Lightning King. Countless people exclaimed. Lin Xian shouted coldly, "Suppress!" Boom! 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 A terrifying sea of lightning spread out, wanting to bombard the huge palm, but it could not do so at all. This palm that contained the dragon sword soul was extremely terrifying. It completely grabbed the Lightning King and crazily poured power into it. The Lightning King's body kept shrinking. Boom! The Lightning King kept wailing. He wanted to break free, but he could not do so at all. The surrounding monster kings also roared crazily. However, the dragon's roar was still echoing in the world. They did not dare to go forward at all. In the end, the Lightning King was completely enveloped by the uncle's palm, and then he disappeared with a whoosh. In fact, he did not disappear. Instead, he was thrown into the black earth by Lin Xian. The people outside did not know. They were still in shock. In the black earth, the Lightning King roared crazily as soon as he entered, wanting to counterattack. However, the Crimson Dragon roared again. The terrifying dragon's roar sounded, scaring the Lightning King. His shrunken body lay on the ground, trembling. His eyes were filled with shock. How was this possible? What was that sound? Why was the other party's bloodline pressure so powerful? It was so powerful that he could not resist at all. He saw the other party lying there, covered in blood. The Crimson Dragon sneered and raised his hand to cast countless arrays, completely sealing the Lightning King. Outside, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing breathed a sigh of relief. They had already caught the Lightning King. Next, they killed some demonic beasts. When the city gate opened, they once again returned to the city. Roar, 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 roar. At this moment, countless demonic beasts roared. Their roars resounded through the 9 heavens. The terrifying army of demonic beasts was like a tidal wave, crazily pushing forward. All the demonic beasts and demon kings had left. Only blood and corpses were left on the ground. There was also the pungent smell of blood in the air. He left. He actually left. The cultivators in the city were shocked, and the people outside the city, Lord's Mansion, were also surprised. Based on the previous situation, the beast tide would last for at least a day. Sometimes it would last for 2 or 3 days, or even longer. But now, not even half a day had passed. The beast tide retreated so quickly, which really surprised them. At this moment, an old man frowned. Could it be related to that angry shout from before? That was most likely the case. He didn't know what kind of existence it was, but its voice could stun all the demon kings. The city lord's eyes also flickered. He said in a deep voice, "We can't care so much. Let's go back first." At the same time, he sent out a call for help and asked the Empire to send more powerhouses to support him. Otherwise, we won't be able to resist at all. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. These powerhouses returned to the city one after another. We won! We won! In the city, countless people cheered. They felt as if they had survived a disaster. After all, the previous battle was too tragic, and it made them shudder with fear. But now, so many terrifying demonic beasts had actually retreated. In other words, they were safe. For a moment, everyone cheered. When Lin Xian and Murong Jingqing returned to the city again, countless gazes looked at them. Their eyes were filled with admiration and gratitude, because they knew that these two young geniuses had killed many powerful demon kings. They had stopped the demonic beasts from attacking the city. They could be said to be their benefactors. For a moment, everyone was grateful. On the other side, the city lord returned with a group of powerhouses and was also welcomed by everyone. Everyone was overjoyed, but the city lord and the others didn't relax. They quickly returned to the city lord's mansion. Those who had returned from the battlefield waited silently because they were waiting for the spirit boat to leave. Although the demonic beasts had retreated, it wasn't safe outside. Who knew when these demonic beasts would come back? Perhaps they would encounter these demonic beasts on the way out. Therefore, they wanted to leave on the spirit boat. The spirit boat was of a very high grade and contained countless arrays. It was a special spirit boat used to travel between major cities, and it was very safe. Even if they encountered a powerful demon king, they could escape. This was also the reason why those warriors had risked their lives to kill the demonic beasts, even though they knew that the battlefield was dangerous. After the city lord returned with a group of people, they began to move. Of course, they also activated a spirit boat. After all, this was something that they had agreed on before. Those who went out to kill the enemy and returned alive would take the spirit boat. Among them, the most dazzling ones were Lin Xian, Murong Qingqing, and Xiao Kuang. The group of people boarded the spirit boat and quickly left. Those who didn't board the spirit boat sighed. However, there was nothing they could do. After all, this qualification was exchanged with their lives, and no one could refute it. The spirit boat set off from Wanrun City to Qianshan Domain. Qianshan Domain wasn't a city, but a domain. The 9 Li dynasty had a total of 9 domains, and Qianshan Domain was one of them. Qianshan Domain was unimaginably large, and the cities inside were like stars in the sky. Of course, there was a main city, Qianshan Main City. The spirit boat headed to Qianshan Domain, but it didn't go directly to Qianshan Main City. Instead, it went to a city at the edge of Qianshan Domain, Sky Spring City. However, it didn't matter. As long as they left Wanrun City, they would be free of the Tai dynasty's detection. It didn't matter whether they went to Sky Spring City or Qianshan City. After a few days of flying, they finally arrived at Sky Spring City. The group of people alighted, and the spirit boat returned. "Brother Long, we still have things to do, so we won't disturb you." Xiao Kuang walked over and said with a smile, "If you have time, come to the Hong sect in Qianshan City. I'll definitely treat you well." "Okay, I'll definitely go when I have time." Lin Xian also smiled. Both parties bid farewell. The red-clothed girl, Xiao Ling, was very reluctant. She waved her hand. "Brother Long, you must come and visit us." After Xiao Kuang and the others left, Murong Qingqing said with a smile, "That little girl seems to have taken a fancy to you. Don't talk nonsense." "How is that possible?" Lin Xian shook his head. Even if she had taken a fancy to him, he wouldn't dare to admit it. "Is that so? You're quite popular with women, aren't you? When I wasn't around, did you do anything dishonest?" Murong Qingqing blinked and asked. Lin Xian broke out in cold sweat and hurriedly shook his head. He quickly changed the topic. "Where should we go?" "Let's go to Tianxing City. I have a senior sister there. We can go find her." "Senior sister? Okay." Lin Xian nodded. Murong Qingqing said, "Let's take the spirit boat in the city. After all, the 9 Li dynasty isn't very safe. If we encounter a group of demonic beasts, it'll be troublesome." "That's fine too. Taking the spirit boat can save us a lot of trouble." The two of them entered the city and prepared to take the spirit boat to Tianxing City. On the other side, inside the Black Earth, the Crimson Dragon also began the soul-searching interrogation. Chapter 2247. Inside the Black Earth, The Crimson Dragon also began to search his soul and interrogate him. The Lightning King was sealed and lying on the ground, but his eyes were filled with fear and anger. "Damn it, who are you? Why are you helping humans?" The Lightning King spoke in human language and roared crazily. He really couldn't understand. The other party was obviously a demon, and he was very powerful and had a very pure bloodline. Why did he capture him and help humans? "Io, Ben Huang didn't ask you, but you dare to question Ben Huang? Who do you think you are? How dare you interfere in Ben Huang's matters? Now you are a prisoner. Listen to me obediently, or I will roast you and eat you." The Crimson Dragon bared his teeth and asked coldly, "What is the purpose of this beast tide? Who sent you here? Is it related to the nest of 10,000 dragons? Do you know anything about the nest of 10,000 dragons? If you know, hurry up and tell me. If you dare to hide it and I find out, I will definitely roast you. What nest of 10,000 dragons?" The series of questions left the Lightning King in a daze. The Crimson Dragon was indeed angry. "Damn, you dare to play dumb in front of Ben Huang? It seems that if I don't teach you a lesson, you really won't know why the flowers are so red." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The Crimson Dragon opened his mouth and spat out a ball of dragon flames. The terrifying flames surged forward and instantly enveloped the Lightning King. Ah, roar! Wrapped in flames, the Lightning King let out a miserable roar. He had been sealed and could not use his demonic energy and strength at all. He could only rely on his strong physique to resist. However, these were not ordinary flames, but dragon flames. Its power was extremely terrifying. Even though he was a demon king and had a strong physique, he could not resist it now. Therefore, soon, some parts of his body turned black and even emitted the smell of roasted meat. The Lightning King was in so much pain that he screamed crazily. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon snorted coldly and waved his dragon claw to put away the dragon flames. Then he asked again, "I'll give you a chance. Tell me what you know, or don't blame me for being impolite. You've already tasted the taste of the flames just now, right? That's just a little. If you don't tell me, I won't be polite. Wait for me to use my full strength, and I reckon you'll be cooked very quickly." "Stop, stop," I said. The Lightning King screamed and roared. He was originally a demonic king, a high and mighty figure who ruled over countless demonic beasts. But now, in front of the Crimson Dragon, he had no temper at all. The other party's flames were too terrifying. They could really roast him. Thus, he had no choice but to tell the truth. This time, our attack on the city was indeed organized and planned. However, it has nothing to do with the nest of 10,000 dragons you mentioned. Moreover, we don't know anything about the nest of 10,000 dragons. It's just that the experts of our Yao clan wanted us to attack the city. He didn't know. How could this be? The Crimson Dragon frowned and asked, "Then why are you attacking?" "I really don't know. I'm just a 7-star demon king. Although I'm pretty strong, I don't have access to these core secrets of the demon race. F***CK. Not saying anything. Don't blame me for being impolite." The Crimson Dragon stretched out its claws and grabbed the Lightning King's head. "Little dumb bird, since you don't want to say anything, don't blame me for being ruthless." As he spoke, the Crimson Dragon used a secret technique of the dragon race to directly collect the other party's soul and check his information. The Lightning King screamed and resisted frantically. However, he was sealed. Moreover, this was a great divine ability of the dragon race. He couldn't resist it at all. Thus, very soon, his eyes rolled back and he fainted. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon loosened its claws and frowned. He realized that the Lightning King was right. The other party really didn't know, and there was no information about the nest of 10,000 dragons in his mind. However, there were a few pieces of information in the other party's mind that made the Crimson Dragon very suspicious. Firstly, these demonic beasts were attacking the city to destroy the super teleportation array. These demonic beasts even wanted to destroy the dragon veins on the ground. This was really too suspicious. Could it be that these demonic beasts wanted to overthrow the Nine dynasty? The Crimson Dragon didn't know, but he felt that with the power of these demonic beasts, they wouldn't be able to do that. Could it be that the other party had something to rely on? In the Lightning King's memory, it seemed that the higher-ups of the demonic beasts had given the order to welcome something. It was said that once those things appeared, the demonic beasts would once again reign over the land and become the rulers of this continent. This news made the Crimson Dragon's expression turn even more solemn. One had to know that the human race was prosperous now. The 5 continents of the true spirit world were all ruled by humans. Although the demonic beasts were also powerful, they couldn't be compared to humans at all. Only in the deep sea and the forest could they show off their might. In front of these holy lands and dynasties, they couldn't stir up any waves at all. But now, these demonic beasts wanted to reign over the land. What did they have? Also, what were they waiting for? How could it have such power? After thinking about it, the Crimson Dragon felt that only the nest of 10,000 dragons had such power. Therefore, the demonic beast tide really had something to do with the nest of 10,000 dragons. However, the Lightning King didn't know much, so he could only get this information. *CK, what a piece of trash. In that case, I'll roast you. The Crimson Dragon was very angry. This stupid bird actually didn't know anything. Thinking of this, he spat out dragon flames that filled the sky and roasted the Lightning King. On the other side, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing entered Sky Spring City. They came to the city, sat in the main hall of Lin Zhou, paid the fare, and prepared to wait. At this moment, many cultivators in the main hall were sitting there, waiting quietly. They all took spirit boats. Because of the recent frequent demonic beast tides, these cultivators were more cautious and generally didn't dare to act alone. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing found a seat and sat down to wait quietly. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon sent a voice transmission. "Kid, I've received some news." "Oh, how is it? Is it related?" Lin Xian asked. Then, the Crimson Dragon told him the information he knew. After Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing heard this, their eyes flickered. In that case, it was really related. Indeed, Murong Qingqing also nodded. She came to the Nine dynasty this time to investigate the nest of 10,000 dragons. She didn't expect to find a clue now. However, the Lightning King didn't know much. It seemed that if she wanted to know more, she had to capture an 8-star demon king and ask. Murong Qingqing frowned and sighed. An 8-star demon king was equivalent to a peerless mighty figure. Moreover, this kind of demon king was definitely terrifying. They controlled countless demonic beasts. It was very difficult to capture such a demon king. Since they were related and the demonic beasts were attacking the city, it seemed that they were also taking action. We'll wait for the right time. When the time comes, we'll definitely find some clues. Yes, let's go to the Zhao family first and ask my senior sister for help. Maybe they know something. Chapter 2248. Let's go to the Zhao family first and ask my senior sister for help. Maybe they know something. Murong Qingqing said. The two of them talked softly and continued to wait. On the other side, White Cloud City. In the city, the super teleportation formation flickered and a group of experts walked out. The person in front was wearing armor and had a cold expression. It was General Xianing. More and more martial artists appeared behind him. General. At this moment, another young man in black armor walked over and knelt down on one knee. How is it? Is there any news from Wanren City? The beast horde has retreated and Wanren City is no longer sealed. We received news that before the city was sealed, the super teleportation formation there was indeed activated and 2 figures were teleported out. It came from our general's residence. Later on, after the city was sealed, the super teleportation formation was destroyed for some reason. It hasn't been repaired yet. It came from our general's residence. Hearing this, General Xianying's eyes turned cold and he sneered. There was no need to think, it must be that kid. General Xianying was relieved because he had finally found traces of the other party. Moreover, the time between the two parties wasn't very long. It could be said that the other party couldn't have gone far. It was in the surrounding area. Men, split up and search. Search all the cities in the White Cloud Territory, Wanrun Territory, and Qianshan Territory. Once you find traces of the other party, don't act rashly. Send me a message immediately. Yes, the martial artists under him replied. General Xianying said again, Oh, right, I remember that hell has a stronghold in the Ninely Dynasty. Send someone to hire a few assassins to assassinate that kid. No matter how much it costs, you must hire them. Yes, I'll do it right away. The martial artist, who was half kneeling on the ground, hurriedly replied. Then General Xianying waved his hand, and everyone around him started to move. After these people left, General Xianying revealed a trace of a cold smile. He didn't believe that the other party could escape this time. Even if he couldn't find the other party, Hell would definitely be able to find him. Hell, it was an extremely terrifying assassin organization. It had been passed down since ancient times and was extremely terrifying. None of the targets they set their sights on could survive. General Xianying was very relieved with them around. On the other side, Sky Spring City, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing were still waiting silently. They estimated that they would need another incense stick of time before they would be done. At this time, another group of people walked in from outside the hall. At the front was a young man wearing an embroidered robe. As the robe swayed slightly, runes flickered on it. Clearly, it was a treasure. There was a half-moon jade pendant on his waist that was also shining with a similar luster. There were 3 exquisite rings on his fingers and a necklace around his neck. Each item was a precious treasure. From head to toe, this young man exuded an extraordinary aura. From the looks of it, he was the young master of some big family. However, this young man was very arrogant. He held his head high as if he didn't put anyone in his eyes. As soon as he entered, he scanned his surroundings and snorted coldly. On his left and right, there were 2 beautiful women. They looked exquisite and had good figures. They wore pink muslin dresses. However, the 2 of them wore light and heavy makeup, making them look like fairies. Furthermore, her entire body was leaning against the arrogant young man. That arrogant young man's large hands were also constantly moving. Behind them, there were 3 middle-aged men in black robes. They were expressionless, but their eyes were sharp. They were probably guards protecting that arrogant young man in front of them. Seeing those people enter, Lin Xian glanced at them and ignored them. Murong Qingqing did not even look at them. The other cultivators also glanced at it before withdrawing their gazes and no longer paying attention. After the arrogant young master entered, he frowned. In the next moment, he took 2 steps forward and stopped in front of a middle-aged man. He said coldly, "Get lost. I want this position." What? Hearing that, those people turned their heads again and looked over. They were all extremely surprised. The middle-aged man who was reprimanded also opened his eyes. His eyes were filled with rage. "What do you mean? Get lost? You've gone too far." He snorted coldly, and a terrifying aura emanated from his body. Buzz! That aura instantly filled the surroundings. It was obvious that he was also a terrifying king. However, the arrogant young man sneered disdainfully. He did not make a move, nor did he dodge. He continued to hold the 2 beauties in his arms and stood in front of them. However, the jade pendant and necklace on his body shone brightly, forming a light screen that enveloped him. That frightening aura had been completely isolated. What terrifying Dharma treasures! Everyone was shocked. Needless to say, the jade pendant and necklace were defensive Dharma treasures. A person who could carry 2 of those treasures must have an extraordinary identity. However, the middle-aged man was extremely angry. So what if he had an extraordinary identity? He had been reprimanded in public and asked to get lost? No one would be able to tolerate that. As a king, how could he tolerate that? The arrogant young man looked at the middle-aged man and sneered disdainfully. What? You want to fight me? You don't know what's good for you. As he said that, he waved his hand and said coldly, "Throw him out." Behind him, the three expressionless men in black walked forward. Each of them was emitting a cold aura. They were also kings. As soon as the three of them appeared, they surrounded the middle-aged man sitting there. Damn it! The middle-aged man's expression changed. None of the three people was weaker than him. Moreover, he could not fight against the three of them at the same time. As expected, he was thrown out the next moment. He fell to the ground with a thud, and his expression became extremely ugly. Humiliation. That was a blatant humiliation. The expressions of the surrounding people also changed. They did not expect the young man to be so arrogant as to throw the middle-aged man out. When they thought of that, their expressions became serious. That was because the young man was completely unreasonable. If he targeted them in the future, they would not be able to fight back. Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing also frowned, but the two of them did not meddle in other people's business. The king, who had been thrown to the ground, roared angrily, "Damn it! I'll fight it out with you." His eyes were bloodshot, and the energy in his body circulated crazily. He wanted to fight with his life. However, at that moment, the arrogant young man turned around and sneered. "Fight it out with me? What do you have to fight me with?" As he said that, he waved the jade pendant on his waist. The half-moon-shaped red jade pendant flickered with light, and there were words engraved on it. Red Moon. Red Moon Clan. When he saw the jade pendant, the middle-aged man was completely stunned. He was stunned in midair and did not dare to attack again. His expression became extremely ugly. The next moment, he snorted coldly, turned around, and left. His speed was even faster than lightning. The surrounding people were stunned. What's going on? Why did the middle-aged man leave? Chapter 2249. The people around them were stunned. What's going on? Why did the middle-aged man leave? That shouldn't be the case. Judging from his angry look, he should be going all out. There were even a few people who decided to help. They could not stand the arrogant young man. However, they did not expect him to leave just like that. It was beyond their expectations. Could it be that the young man had a special background? After chasing away the middle-aged man, the arrogant young man sat down. The two beauties next to him sat on his lap. The three men in black stood behind him. The arrogant young man sat down and narrowed his eyes in satisfaction. The two seductive beauties took out spirit fruits and spirit wine from their storage rings and fed them to the arrogant young man. The corners of the people around them twitched. They were speechless. That young man is not only arrogant, but he also knows how to enjoy himself. Beautiful women in my arms, spirit wine, and spirit fruits, that's a treatment that no one else has. The arrogant young man looked around again as he enjoyed himself. When he saw Morong Qingqing, his expression froze, and his eyes lit up with excitement. What a beauty! She's indeed a peerless beauty. Just the sight of her back was enough to arouse one's imagination. The arrogant young man was extremely excited. Indeed, from where he stood, he could only see Morong Qingqing's back. Even so, he was still excited and his blood was gushing. The two beauties next to him were considered exquisite. But compared to Morong Qingqing's back was enough to kill them. That made the arrogant young man's heart itch. The two beauties next to him saw through that as well. However, they were not jealous at all. Instead, their eyes became even more charming. That was because they were very smart. They knew that they could not be dissatisfied with the young master in front of them. Otherwise, they would end up in a miserable state. Sure enough, the next moment, the arrogant young man stood up and walked forward. The two beauties followed closely beside him. The three bodyguards behind them also moved together. Soon, the arrogant young man arrived beside Morong Chingcheng. When he saw Morong Chingcheng's side profile, he exclaimed in surprise. Unfortunately, Morong Chingcheng was wearing a veil on her face. Only her beautiful eyes could be seen. He couldn't see anything else at all. However, this was already enough. Just based on this point, he was certain that this was definitely a peerless beauty. If he saw such a beautiful woman, he would definitely not miss it. At the side, Lin Xian frowned when he saw this scene, and a trace of displeasure appeared in his eyes. What was going on? This guy actually dared to be so impudent. Could it be that they wanted to poach him? When he thought of this, his eyes turned cold, and there was a trace of coldness in them. No matter who the other party was, if they dared to poach him, only death awaited them. Morong Chingcheng also frowned slightly. However, at this moment, the time limit of an incense stick was up, and the spirit vessel started moving. Everyone stood up and prepared to board the spirit vessel. Morong Chingcheng said tenderly, "Brother Xian, let's go." Okay. Lin Xian stood up and took Morong Chingcheng's small hand, and the two of them walked forward. The tall young man narrowed his eyes. How dare you ignore me? What a personality. Interesting. Only then would there be a challenge. Looking at Morong Di's back, the arrogant young man sneered. Let's go. He waved his hand, and the group of people also walked forward. Soon, Lin Xian and Morong Chingcheng boarded the spirit vessel. The two of them had bought the best seats. The chairs were made of high-quality demon beast skin, and they were abnormally soft. There was a table next to them, and there were exquisite spirit fruits and spirit tea on it. Morong Chingcheng chose to sit by the window, and then closed her eyes slightly. She leaned her head on Lin Xian's shoulder, and her arm was around Lin Xian's. She was ready to rest for a while. Lin Xian did not sleep. He was also a little bored, and it was not suitable for him to cultivate now. Fortunately, it was very comfortable on the spirit vessel. There were a few books on the table, and they were all about strange things. There were also some books that introduced the geography and history of the Ninely Empire. Lin Xian was bored, so he took the books and read them. Martial artists were still entering, so the spirit vessel had not taken off yet. At this moment, the arrogant young man from before also walked toward the VIP area. It was obvious that they had bought the best seats. When the arrogant young man saw Morong Chingcheng, his lips curled into a smile again. He strode over with his men in tow. "Beauty, I realize that we are really fated to meet again," the arrogant young man said. Throughout the whole process, his eyes were fixed on Morong Chingcheng, and he did not look at Lin Xian at all. It was as if Lin Xian did not exist. Hearing this voice, Morong Chingcheng opened her eyes, glanced at the other party, and said coldly, "Who are you? Why are you looking for me?" "I'm Chi Yueka, the young master of the Chi Yueka clan. It's okay if you don't know me. We've met twice, so we're considered acquaintances." "Fairy, are you going to Stellar Sky City?" "Great, I'm going too. Why don't we go together? With my Chi Yueka clan opening the way for you, I guarantee that you'll have a smooth journey. Anything you want to do, you can do it." Chi Yueka raised his chin confidently. "Oh, you're done? Then you can leave," Morong Chingcheng said coldly. She was not interested in whether the other party was a young master or not. Seeing the other party's attitude, Chi Yueka's expression stiffened and his face darkened. No one dared to reject the beauty that he had his eyes on. Moreover, no one had ever escaped from his grasp. Therefore, he was not in a hurry. He would enjoy it when he got his hands on her. However, at this moment, Lin Xian spoke. "Are you done? If you're done, get lost. My wife wants to sleep and has no time for you." "What wife?" Hearing this, Chi Yueka was stunned. The corner of his mouth twitched, and he shifted his gaze to Lin Xian. "What did you say? Say it again," he said through gritted teeth. Why, are you deaf? Didn't you hear me? Lin Xian frowned. It seemed that this guy was not only arrogant, but his ears were also bad. Presumptuous! How dare you! Slap him! The 3 guards behind him shouted coldly. How dare someone speak to our young master in such a manner? She's your wife. What a joke! This fairy is the best in the world. How can you be worthy of her? You gigolo, you must be this fairy's shield. I know that the fairy likes to be quiet and doesn't like to be disturbed, so she'll use you as a shield. But don't be too arrogant. You're definitely not worthy of her. The only one worthy of her is me. Ridiculous. Lin Xian sneered, then turned around and kissed Morong Ching on the cheek. Then he said, How is it? Can you prove that she's my wife now? All right, get lost if there's nothing else. You're blocking my sunlight. Seeing this, Chi Yueka was dumbfounded. Chapter 2250. What? The 2 of them were really a couple. He was so angry that his whole body was smoking. Damn it, the fairy that was so good had actually been taken. He couldn't accept this. Moreover, the other party's attitude was so arrogant. He really didn't know what was good for him. Who was he? He was the young master of the Red Moon family. The Red Moon family was a large family in the Qianshan domain. Usually, he could do whatever he wanted, and no one dared to be disrespectful to him. But now, a brat actually dared to scold him, going against him. He was really courting death. When the surrounding people saw this scene, they were also extremely shocked. Because previously in the main hall, this Red Moon had already displayed an extremely arrogant attitude. He chased away a king in public. This caused everyone to be terrified, and no one dared to provoke him. But now, someone actually dared to challenge him? Could it be that he was crazy? Or was there something wrong with his head? They didn't know, but they knew that the other party was going to be unlucky. Sure enough, in the next moment, Red Moon Ku's face was gloomy as he sneered. Men, throw this kid out for me. He was really mad. So what if the other party was a couple? After killing this kid, this supreme grade fairy in front of him would be his. Yes, young master. Behind him, 3 guards, 1 middle-aged guard walked out. His expression was very cold. He had an aquiline nose and a cold face. His body emitted a terrifying aura. That aura caused the air to freeze. This was a 5-star king, and he was very powerful. One had to know that although Middle Ground was vast and there were many powerhouses, there were still very few who could become mighty figures. There were even fewer peerless mighty figures. Most people were still kings, and 5-star kings were already considered experts. To be able to have a 5-star king as a guard, his identity and strength were definitely terrifying. When this 5-star king came out, he looked at Lin Xian and sneered. Kid, you actually dare to go against my young master. You really don't know what's good for you. Get out of here, obediently. As he spoke, he stretched out his palm and grabbed in front of him. That palm bloomed with light, forming a palm of light that enveloped Lin Xian. It seemed that he wanted to throw Lin Xian out. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people exclaimed. Sure enough, the other party made a move. It seemed that this kid was going to be unlucky. The blue palm slapped down with a sharp force. This palm strike was capable of turning a king's body into meat paste. It was obvious that these people from the Crimson Moon clan had the intention to kill. The people in the distance exclaimed. Lin Xian's face darkened, and a hint of anger appeared in his eyes. These people really didn't know what was good for them. They actually dared to make a move on him. Thinking of this, he sneered. With a wave of his hand, a sharp light slashed out. The blue palm was instantly destroyed. Crack, crack. In the next moment, a scream was heard. That 5-star king screamed crazily. His face was distorted, and sweat was dripping down his face. That was because his palm had been directly broken. Damned brat! How dare you hurt me? I'll kill you! That person roared crazily, and reached out with his left hand. Blue lightning condensed in his palm. Lin Xian coldly snorted. "Try moving again." A cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. Wang, feeling this terrifying gaze, the black-clothed man trembled. Deep fear appeared in his eyes. His body started to tremble inexplicably. A death-like threat rose from his heart. Therefore, this palm strike could no longer continue. Damn it, what's going on? How can this brat's gaze be so terrifying? This 5-star king felt a chill in his heart. He had never encountered such a strange thing. As for the others, they were all stunned. What's going on? That 5-star king was actually injured. Heavens! They weren't dreaming, were they? They were all stunned. Chi Yueka's face was gloomy and extremely ugly. He also did not expect this to happen. These 3 subordinates of his were all 5-star kings. They were very powerful. Usually when he dealt with people, it was like swatting flies. But now he had actually failed. Not only that, but his subordinates were also injured. Who exactly was this brat? Could it be that he was an expert? Chi Yueka's king. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. "How dare you hurt my people? You're courting death. No one can save you today." Chi Yueka's face was gloomy. He waved his hand, and the other 2 guards also walked up. These 2 guards' eyes were cold, and their bodies emitted a powerful aura. They even drew their swords and sabers. They had also seen the previous situation. One of their companions was inexplicably injured. This made them extremely surprised. Therefore, they did not want to be careless at all and prepared to attack with all their might. Seeing that the battle was about to break out, a maidservant walked over from behind. Behind her was a group of guards. These people were law enforcers who guarded the safety and stability of the spirit boat. They said coldly, no fighting was allowed on the spirit boat. This was the rule. This rule was set by the dynasty. Violating the rule was going against the entire dynasty. A cold voice sounded. Hearing this, the other 2 guards did not attack. Instead, they turned to look at Chi Yueka. Chi Yueka's face was gloomy as he snorted coldly. "Brat, consider yourself lucky this time. But wait, when we reach Stellar Sky City, I'll deal with you." He snorted coldly and left with the group of people. Although he could not make a move now, it did not matter. These 2 were flying to Stellar Sky City, and their Chi Yueka family was a large family in Qianshan region. It was definitely terrifying. When the other party landed, he would let them know the consequences of going against him. Seeing that the people of the Chi Yueka family had left, the guards on the spirit boat secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Then they turned around and left. "All right, the flies have left. Rest in peace for a while." Lin Xian turned around and looked at Murong Qingqing with a gentle smile. Murong Qingqing nodded and snuggled into Lin Xian's arms again. She did not sleep. Instead, her big eyes narrowed into crescents. She whispered, "You rascal! Who did you say I was to you? Of course you're my wife." Lin Xian whispered into the man's ear, "You're mine for the rest of your life. If anyone dares to have any ideas about you, I'll definitely cripple him." Yes, Murong Qingqing's heart warmed when she heard that. At this moment, Lin Xian said again, "Qingqing, I really wonder if you're the reincarnation of a flower fairy. Your body is too fragrant." "You rascal! When did you learn to be so glib?" Murong Qingqing blushed and gently pinched Lin Xian. Then she said, "I'm going to ignore you." The 2 of them flirted here. When Chi Yueka saw this scene, he was so angry that his whole body trembled and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. F***CK, he was so angry that he was going crazy. He swore that he would definitely kill this brat, and he would snatch that beauty over. When the surrounding warriors saw this scene, they were also shocked. This result was something they had not expected at all. Chapter 2251. Previously in the hall, Chi Yueka was very powerful and no one was their match. This young man and woman seemed to be alone, and they did not emit any powerful aura. They should be ordinary martial artists. However, they did not expect that kid to be so powerful. He injured a 5-star king with a raise of his hand. By the looks of it, these two people should be geniuses as well. That's right, that kid is quite powerful. I didn't expect him to be so strong at such a young age. What's the use of being strong? He's in big trouble. However, some people also shook their heads and sneered. Do you know who that young man is? That's the young master of the Qi Yu family. What, the Qi Yu family? You're saying that those people are from the Qi Yu family. Hearing this, many people gasped, and a trace of fear appeared in their eyes. In the Qianshan domain, everyone knew about the Qi Yu family. It was a very terrifying family, and it was definitely a huge force. No wonder that young man was so arrogant and had 3 5-star kings as bodyguards. It turned out that he was the young master of the Qi Yu family. When they thought of this, they looked at Lin Xian with pity in their eyes. It's over, this kid is really finished. Even a 6-star king would not be enough to offend the Qi Yu family. Not only that, even a mighty figure would be finished. The horror of the family was absolutely unimaginable. This kid dared to provoke the young master of the Qi Yu family. He would definitely die. With that young man's attitude, he would probably attack as soon as he got off the spirit boat. Everyone discussed animatedly. Qi Yueka and the others sneered. As for Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing, they did not care at all. What 5-star king? The young master of the Qi Yu family was not worth mentioning at all. One had to know that Lin Xian was someone who even dared to kill the geniuses of the war race, let alone the Qi Yu family. Not long after, the spirit boat took off and turned into a stream of light in the sky. Some of the martial artists on the spirit boat were sleeping, some were drinking tea, and some were chatting. There were also those who were flipping through the strange things on the table. After about half a day, the spirit boat gradually slowed down and fell downwards. Everyone knew that it should be about time. Indeed, not long after, the spirit boat slowly landed. Boom! The door opened, and the sunlight from outside spilled in. The beautiful maidservant also spoke in a sweet voice. Everyone, we have arrived at the Stellar Sky City. These martial artists got up one after another and walked outside. Qi Yueka sneered, waved his hand and left with his people. At the same time, he said, Go and bring some people over. We have to deal with this brat. Don't worry, young master, one of the guards said. The other guard's figure flashed and quickly disappeared into the void. Seeing that his men had left, Qi Yueka hugged the two beauties and turned to look at Lin Xian and the others. His eyes were extremely cold. Soon the group left Linzhou. When the surrounding martial artists saw this scene, their scalps went numb. It was over. It seemed like the young master of the Qi Yu clan had gone to look for someone. That brat is definitely dead. Daring to offend the Red Moon clan in the Qianshan domain, he must have lost his mind. That was for sure. His fate would definitely be very miserable, and he would probably be killed on the spot. Many people were discussing and looking at Lin Xian with pity in their eyes. They guessed that Lin Xian was only a little stronger and did not have any background at all. Such a person who offended a clan would end up in a miserable state. When Lin Xian saw this scene, he sneered. It would be fine if the other party did not make a move. But if they did, then don't blame him for being impolite. Although he did not want to find trouble, he was not someone who would be bullied. In the next moment, he took Morong Qingqing's little hand and said softly, Let's go. The two of them walked down the spirit boat hand in hand. There was a huge square outside, and there was a pentagram array under their feet that flickered with runes. There were martial artists coming and going around. They were in a hurry. Some left, and some boarded the spirit boat. They had no choice. The recent beast tide made them not dare to fly, so they could only take the spirit boat. The sun shone down just right. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked around. He did not see the arrogant young man, so he asked, Ching Ching, how are we going to your senior sister's house? Before we came, I've already sent a message to my senior sister. I think she'll come to pick us up. Let's go out. The two of them walked out. However, when they were about to leave, a few figures stopped them. The two figures emitted extremely terrifying qi and blood. They were like demon kings, staring at Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing. Not far away, Chiyueka was hugging two beauties and sneered. There were more than 10 black-clothed martial artists beside him. Each of them had a powerful aura and carried a sword and saber on their backs. Kid, you're very arrogant. How dare you go against me? Don't you know whose territory this is? How dare you attack my subordinates? You want to steal the girls I like? Today, I'll let you know how the word death is written. Men, do it. Invite the fairy over. As for this kid, break his limbs and bring him over. I'll torture him to death. I've recently raised a fiery demonic wolf. I can use the little demonic beast he gave me as food. Don't worry, young master. He's just a kid. I can kill him with a slap. The black-clothed men sneered. They moved quickly like ghosts and instantly formed a circle. They surrounded Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing. Seeing this scene, the surrounding martial artists were shocked. How dare someone make a move here? Did he want to die? The martial artists who came with Lin Xian were also shocked. It was as they had guessed. The young master of the Qiyu family had indeed made a move. It seemed that this kid was really dead. Weren't they from the Qiyu family? How dare they provoke the Qiyu family? Where did these two people come from? Did they want to die? Many people recognized the identity of these black-clothed men and stopped to watch from afar. It was human nature to watch a show. Even if these people had cultivated to the king realm, it was hard to change their nature. Therefore, the surrounding warriors all rushed over and gathered together in a short period of time. Pirates must die. At the same time, on a wide street outside the exit, 3 snow-white ice snow lions were pulling an exquisite carriage as they slowly walked over. These 3 ice lions were emitting a blue light and emitting a cold aura. From afar, they looked extraordinary. As expected, along the way, the martial artists on the side of the road looked over and gasped. Demon Kings. The 3 ice lions were actually 5-star Demon Kings, using 5-star Demon Kings to pull a carriage. The person who came was really generous. It was the second miss of the Zhao family. Many people exclaimed when they saw the scene. It was obvious that this was not the first time they saw it. Inside the carriage sat a woman, a very beautiful woman. Chapter 2252. Her face was delicate, and her black hair was draped over her shoulders. She was wearing a long red dress. At this moment, she was holding an incomparably white fur ball in her arms. It was a newborn snow lion. Its entire body was snow white without any impurities. This snow lion was extraordinarily talented. It was a 1-star Demon King the moment it was born, and it contained a special bloodline power. This beauty was so fond of it that she hugged it all day. At this moment, the carriage slowly drove and arrived in front of a square. Then it stopped by the side of the road. 3 snow lions squatted there, emitting a terrifying aura that deterred people from approaching. In fact, even without the 3 snow lions, the sword symbol on the carriage alone was enough to scare away a group of people. That was because that was the Zhao family's emblem. The beautiful woman in the car stopped. In front, a snow lion spoke in human language. "Master, there's a sea of people in front. There seems to be some commotion." "Oh, is that so?" Hearing that, the delicate beauty raised her eyebrows and revealed a look of interest. "Little darling, shall we go out and take a look?" The delicate beauty looked at the little snowball in her arms and said softly. Then her figure flashed, and she got out of the carriage and walked forward. It was indeed very lively in front. Countless people surrounded and watched as if something big was happening. In the middle of the crowd stood two figures. It was Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing. There were more than 10 martial artists around them. These people were not ordinary martial artists. They were all kings. The weak ones were 3-star kings. The strong ones were 4-star and 5-star kings. There were more than 10 of them standing together at this moment. It was truly terrifying. Together, they formed a terrifying domain that suppressed this part of the world. The surrounding martial artists felt this aura, and their expressions changed as they swallowed their saliva. The surrounding people were shocked, but Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing looked indifferent. It was just a group of ordinary kings. They were no threat to them at all. However, when Qi Yueka saw this indifferent expression, he gnashed his teeth in anger. Damn it, what's going on? Why aren't they afraid at all? How is that possible? One had to know that he was truly surprised. Among the people he had brought with him, there were already 5 5-star kings. There were also so many 4-star kings. If 3-star kings were to join forces, they would definitely be terrifying. Usually, as long as he called out to his subordinates, they would definitely be scared witless. But now, the other party was actually indifferent. How was this possible? He couldn't believe it. Damn it, pretentious. He must be pretentious. In his opinion, the other party must be faking it. In fact, he was already terrified. However, to dare to show off in front of him, he was really courting death. So in the next moment, the Scarlet Moon roar coldly snorted. What are you guys still standing there for? Hurry up and attack. Hearing this, the king tiers all laughed coldly. Kid, you actually dared to offend the young master? You really don't know what's good for you. Humph. Kneel down obediently and accept your death. The auras of these kings were extremely terrifying. Their king domains gushed out, and the berserk energy was like a wave, shaking the heaven and earth. This momentum was extremely terrifying. The entire sky was trembling like 10,000 waves. It was extremely majestic. Seeing this scene, Qi Yueka laughed crazily again. Brat, I'll let you show off. Are you trying to act cool? I don't believe that you can escape. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I'll let you see how I play with your woman. As he spoke, Qi Yueka laughed maniacally. His gaze was once again fixed on Murong Qingqing, and his eyes were shining with a terrifying light. Murong Qingqing snorted coldly, her small face cold. Lin Xian's face completely darkened. A cold, murderous intent appeared in his eyes, and a terrifying aura was surging out. It was as if the god of death had awakened. You dare to release your murderous intent? You dare to release your murderous intent towards me? Qi Yueka felt the other party's gaze, and his heart beat wildly. He subconsciously took a step back. However, soon his expression became extremely ugly. The other party actually dared to release his murderous intent towards him. He really didn't know what was good for him. He swore that he would torture the other party to death. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Originally, I didn't want to make a move on you because killing an ant like you is really meaningless. However, you actually dared to insult my wife. You've committed an unforgivable crime. Now kneel down and apologize to my wife. I can spare your life. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. The surrounding kings were all dumbfounded. What was going on? What was this brat saying? Qi Yueka was also stunned. He seemed to not dare to believe his ears. The other party dared to threaten him and even dare to ask him to kneel down and apologize. The next moment, he laughed out of anger. Do you know who you're talking to, brat? Qi Yueka sneered, and the two beauties around him also sneered disdainfully. Qi Yueka was the young master of the Qi Yueka family. How noble was their status? Who dared to provoke them? Usually, only others would kneel to them. Who dared to make the young master of the Qi Yueka family kneel? Wasn't that courting death? Not only was that courting death, but it was also a crime that could lead to the extermination of the family. the brat in front of him dared to say such a thing. It seemed that the outcome would be worse than death. Very good, brat. You're the first person who dared to provoke me. Don't worry, I won't let you die so easily. I'll make you my slave. Every day, I'll skin you, tear your tendons, and train your soul. I'll let you taste the feeling of living a life worse than death. Go, you guys capture him for me. At the end of his words, Chiueka roared angrily. Obviously, the words from before had infuriated him. The dozen or so kings in black also had gloomy expressions. Brat, since you're courting death, don't blame us. Boom! The kings shouted coldly, and all kinds of martial arts skills were displayed crazily. It was as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting. Boom! A golden sword rose into the air, blooming in the sky and emitting waves of thunder. A large black hand covered the sky, emitting a terrifying aura. The two blades were like the Milky Way, releasing murderous intent. Lightning, wind, hail, countless energy gathered in the sky and were about to fall. Pirates must die. However, at this moment, a cold voice came from behind. All of you, stop! What? Hearing this voice, everyone was stunned. What was going on? Someone dared to interfere in the Chiueka family's matters? Did they not want to live anymore? Heavens, what was going on? Why did someone dare to challenge the Chiueka family? Chiueka was also stunned. Just when he was happy, someone dared to interrupt him. Who was it? His eyes were cold as he suddenly turned his head. He wanted to see who was so daring to interfere in his matters. However, in the next moment, when he turned around and looked through the crowd, he was stunned. His body trembled, and a hint of fear appeared in his eyes. Although the Jade Lake was powerful, it was in the eastern wilderness, and it was tens of thousands of miles away. No matter how strong they are, I'm afraid they won't be able to reach us. It couldn't do anything, but the Zhao family could. Zhao Zhirua turned her head and looked behind her. Then she frowned and asked, "What happened?" "That, Sister Zhirua, it's a misunderstanding. I have a misunderstanding with these two. I will take them away now," Chiueka hurriedly said. "Misunderstanding?" Zhao Zhirua frowned. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Did I say you could leave?" His voice was like thunder, resounding in all directions. Everyone's scalp went numb. Chiueka and the others also stopped in their tracks. Zhao Zhirua turned her head and looked at Lin Xian. "Junior sister, who is this?" "He's my husband." Murong Qingqing smiled. "What?" Zhao Zhirua was extremely shocked. "Husband? How is this possible? When did Murong Qingqing have a husband? Why didn't she know?" However, looking at the two of them, it didn't seem like they were faking it. Therefore, she subconsciously looked at them a few more times. Then she nodded slightly. Just by looking at his appearance, he was indeed very handsome. However, she couldn't see through his cultivation. Although he was fierce, his aura wasn't very clear. She couldn't see through his cultivation at that moment. Forget it. She had to deal with the matters here first. Zhao Zhirua said again, "Chiueka, since you have offended my junior sister, hurry up and apologize." "Yes, I will apologize now." Chiueka said, "I'm sorry. I was blind before and offended the two of you. Please forgive me." He didn't dare to be arrogant anymore because the fairy in front of him was Zhao Zhirua's junior sister. He knew that Zhao Zhirua's sect was the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. Although the Jade Lake Sacred Ground was far away, the Zhao family was local and was stronger than his Chiueka family. Therefore, with the Zhao family's support, he didn't dare to be presumptuous in front of the two of them. After apologizing, Chiueka wanted to leave because he didn't have the face to stay here. However, Lin Xian merely sneered. "What? Was it over just like that? What do you want?" Seeing that the other party was still unwilling to give up, Chiueka's face was gloomy. After all, He was the young master of a big family. Apologizing in public was already giving the other party face. Lin Xian sneered. I said, kneel down and apologize and I can spare your life. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. What? Kneel down and apologize? The surrounding people were shocked. Qi Yueka's face became extremely ugly. Kneel down? How could that be? He was the young master of the Qi Yueka family. Although he had done something wrong and apologized, kneeling down was out of the question, because if he knelt down, it wouldn't be his own face being slapped, but the entire Qi Yueka family would be humiliated. It was impossible for him to kneel down. However, Zhao Zhiro sighed. Qi Yueka, you'd better kneel down and apologize. What? When she said that, the crowd was even more confused. Could it be that Qi Yueka was really going to kneel down? When Qi Yueka heard that, his face turned gloomy, and a hint of ferocity appeared in his eyes. Pirates must die, Sister Zhiro. I'm apologizing to these two people because I'm giving you face. However, don't go too far. You're from the Jade Lake Sacred Ground, but the Jade Lake is in the eastern wilderness, and this is Zhongzhou. Moreover, although the Zhao family is powerful, the Qi Yueka family is not to be trifled with. Don't forget, we're also the 6th prince's people. Threatening me? Qi Yueka, you're courting death. Zhao Zhirua also frowned, and the smile on her face disappeared. Lin Xian snorted coldly. I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down or die. Kid, you're courting death. Sister Zhirua, you've seen it for yourself. It's these people who are bullying me. I have to take action. When I catch them, I'll apologize to you in the upper Zhao mansion. Qi Yueka's face was filled with ferocity as he said that. He roared, attack! Take this kid down. He was mad. He was really mad. The other party had asked him to kneel down and apologize again and again. This was intolerable. Hearing the order, the kings around him also roared ferociously, and their domains surged out quickly. Swords, sabers, divine wind, and raging flames quickly rushed down. In an instant, Lin Xian was completely enveloped. Chapter 2254. He attacked. Scarlet Crescent Drake actually attacked. The surrounding people were extremely shocked. They did not expect Scarlet Crescent Drake to dare to attack at this time. It seemed that this kid was really dead. Humph! However, in the next moment, a cold snort was heard. Boom! The king's domains that filled the sky directly shattered into countless pieces. More than a dozen kings' faces turned pale, and they vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Their faces were filled with fear and disbelief. The people around them were also going crazy. What happened? A voice actually shattered more than a dozen kings' domains. Heavens, who the hell is this kid? How strong is he? They did not dare to imagine. Buzz, buzz, buzz! Puff, puff, puff! In the next moment, they screamed. That was because more than a dozen black-clothed kings who attacked were all split in half and fell to the ground. Blood instantly dyed the ground red. Ah! Many people screamed, and Scarlet Crescent Drake's pupils constricted. His face was pale without a trace of blood. The two beauties in his arms were also trembling. Everyone was dumbfounded. They did not expect that more than a dozen kings would be killed in an instant. They did not have the strength to fight back at all. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian and trembled. An expert. This was definitely an incomparably terrifying expert. Lin Xian did not even make a move. With just a glance, he killed those people. Buzz! He stared at Scarlet Crescent Drake again and said coldly, Kneel down and apologize or die. I'll kneel. Feeling the cold gaze, Scarlet Crescent Drake's body trembled. He did not dare to be arrogant anymore. At this moment, the glory of his family and face were all thrown to the back of his mind. His life was the most important. With a plop, he knelt on the ground and kowtowed nonstop. Hero, please spare me. I was wrong. I deserve to die 1,000 times. As he spoke, he kept slapping his face. Seeing the scene, everyone went crazy. Was this still the high and mighty young Master Scarlet Crescent Drake? They could not believe it. My mouth is cheap, so I'll slap myself. Scarlet Crescent Drake slapped his own face. The surrounding people were stunned, and Zhao Zhiro was also silent. Perhaps this kneeling would start a feud with the Scarlet Crescent Drake family. Although the Zhao family was stronger than the Qiyu family, the Qiyu family was no pushover either. They were also one of the big clans in Qianshan domain. Moreover, he was inextricably linked to the sixth prince. It could be said that unless they had no other choice, their Zhao family would not want to go against the Scarlet Moon family. However, since it had already happened, it was useless to say anything more. If the Qiyu clan wanted to come knocking on their door, the Zhao clan would welcome them. Furthermore, the Red Moon Dagger was in the wrong in the first place. Therefore, Zhao Zhiro did not mind. Ahead, Chiyueka knelt and begged for mercy, saying, "Hero, can you find me now?" "I'm leaving right now." "Humph." Su Qin sneered. "Did I say you could leave?" Chiyueka, who was just about to leave, stiffened and then became angry. Damn it. He had already knelt down and apologized. But the other party still refused to let him go? What do you want? At the thought of this, his face became ferocious, and he suddenly raised his head. "Kid, don't go too far." "Overboard?" "I'm going too far." "What can you do about it?" Lin Xian sneered. "I said that I could spare your life, but I never said that I would let you go." At this point, a cold killing intent appeared in Lin Xian's eyes again. Then his eyes turned into two sharp rays of light that pierced forward. "Damn it, how dare you attack me?" Seeing the two rays of light flying towards him, Chiyueka was scared out of his wits. He roared crazily, and the jade, pendant, necklace, and ring on his body emitted a misty light. It formed 3 light curtains that enveloped him. However, it was useless. Crack, crack, crack. The sound of something breaking could be heard. The 3 light curtains were torn apart in an instant, and then the 2 rays of light pierced into the other party's dantian. With a boom, the other party's spiritual sea was completely crushed. Ah! Chiyueka screamed crazily on the ground, and his face became distorted. "Ah! How dare you destroy my cultivation? I'm going to kill you. I'll definitely kill you." He was really crazy. The other party destroyed his cultivation with a raise of his hand. This made him feel worse than death. One had to know that although he wasn't strong, he was still a 5-star king. Usually, he was arrogant not only because of his identity, but also because of his strength. And now his cultivation had been crippled. From a high and mighty king, he became an ordinary person. How could he accept such a difference? So he screamed crazily. Lin Xian sneered. "You still want to kill me?" As he spoke, he walked over in large strides. Feeling the other party's gradually approaching figure, Chiyueka was scared out of his wits. "You dare to touch me? You're dead. If you kill me, my Chiyueka family will definitely not let you go." Chiyueka was really scared. The other party's methods were definitely extremely powerful. He couldn't imagine it at all. If the other party killed him, he might not even have a place to cry. The surrounding people were also terrified. Even Zhao Zhiro frowned. Making the Scarlet Moon Drake apologize and killing the Scarlet Moon Drake were 2 completely different matters. The former was just slapping the Chiyueka family's face. Their Zhao family could still suppress it. However, if he really killed Chiyueka, then he would become a mortal enemy of the Chiyueka family. This would definitely make the Chiyueka family go crazy. "Kill you? You're thinking too much. A piece of trash like you isn't worthy of me killing you." However, you actually dared to have ideas about my wife. I'll make sure you have no fate with women in this lifetime. As he spoke, Lin Xian raised his foot and stepped on Chiyueka's lower body. Crack! Chiyueka was in so much pain that he fainted a few times. The surrounding people also trembled. They felt a chill down there, as if they were about to shatter. What happened? Not only did this kid destroy Chi Yueka's cultivation, but he also destroyed his manhood? Everyone was sweating profusely and swallowing their saliva. It's over. In this situation, the Chi Yueka family would definitely not let this go. No matter how strong this kid was, he couldn't fight against the entire Chi Yueka family, right? That was for sure. The Chi Yueka family was so powerful. There were countless kings and almighties. Any random almighties would be able to kill this kid. This kid was too arrogant. Did he think that with the Zhao family behind him, he could do whatever he wanted? The Chi Yueka family was not to be trifled with. Everyone was discussing, feeling that Lin Xian had gone too far. Zhao Zhiruo's eyes flickered, but she did not say anything. As long as Chi Yueka was not dead, everything would be easy. Boom! 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 At this moment, countless lights appeared in the sky. One after another, silhouettes descended quickly. It was a group of guards. There were about 20 of them. Naturally, they were the guards of Stellar Sky City. When they saw a fight below, they naturally came over. Who was fighting here? Did they not know the city rules? A shout could be heard. Then, more than 20 people descended. Thank you for your monthly votes. It's already 96. I'll add more tomorrow. Chapter 2255. Uncle Chi, you're here. Quick, kill this kid for me. He crippled me. Seeing the guards land, Red Moon Kettle screamed crazily again. It was as if he had grabbed onto a life-saving straw. Young Master Red Moon. The middle-aged leader of the guards was shocked when he saw Red Moon Kettle lying on the ground. What's going on? Someone dared to attack young Master Red Moon. Does he want to die? The next moment he roared. Men, capture that kid. The middle-aged leader pointed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted. What? You want to fight? Don't you want to know what happened? Don't you want to know who's right and who's wrong? We don't need to know. All we know is that you dared to injure young Master Red Moon. You're dead meat. Good. You don't care about right or wrong. I like this way of doing things. Lin Xian snorted and waved his hand impatiently. Do it. Don't waste my time. You're courting death. Attack! The middle-aged man roared, and the 20 guards behind him quickly attacked. The long spear in his hand transformed into numerous flood dragons that surrounded Lin Xian. Get lost! With his hands behind his back, Lin Xian shouted coldly as he looked at the 20 figures charging towards him. Boom! 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 The sound waves were like thunder, rolling out with unparalleled power. In an instant, the 20 spears exploded into pieces. The martial artists spat out mouthfuls of blood as if they were struck by lightning. The armor on their bodies was shattered and many of their bones were broken. So powerful! Everyone exclaimed. The middle-aged man's pupils constricted. He did not expect Lin Xian to be so powerful. Whoosh! The next moment his vision blurred. A figure appeared in front of him. Then he felt a grip on his neck. Lin Xian appeared in front of the middle-aged man. He grabbed his neck with one hand and lifted him up. Then he asked coldly, What? You still dare to convict me? No, I dare. The middle-aged man shook his head frantically. I'm blind. I've offended you, young master. Please spare my life. Get lost. Lin Xian snorted. He waved his arm and threw the middle-aged man to the ground. Everyone around was completely stunned. The Scarlet Moon Ku was also stunned on the ground. The immense pain continued, but his mind was still blank. He knew that the young man in front of him was beyond his imagination. If he was arrogant, the other party might really kill him. Therefore, he didn't dare to say anything. He only wanted to return to his family and get his family to send out countless powerful figures to kill the other party. On the other side, Zhao Zhiruo's eyes flickered. To be honest, judging from the attacks of Lin Xian and the others, their strength had definitely surpassed that of a 5-star king. As for whether they were a six-star king or an almighty being, she wasn't sure. However, in her eyes, he should only be a six-star king. After all, only the saintesses and saints could become almighties in their 20s. Whoosh! In a flash, Lin Xian appeared beside Murong Qingqing and said, "Let's go." "Okay." Zhao Zhira nodded, and the group walked out. Wherever he passed, the crowd automatically moved aside. No one dared to block his path. What a joke! The strength that Lin Xian displayed shocked them. After Lin Xian and the other two left, the entire square was in an uproar. Everyone was discussing animatedly. An expert, this was a true expert. With a wave of his hand, he killed more than a dozen almighties. With a roar, he sent countless guards flying. That scene was exciting, just thinking about it. However, the Scarlet Moon kept swallowing pills and roaring at the same time. "Damn it, men! Escort me for my family. I must kill him." In the Scarlet Moon family, when the Scarlet Moon was carried in, the entire family was in an uproar. Endless flames of fury burned, and smoke signals soared into the sky. Anger, endless anger. When they saw the crippled Scarlet Moon coup, they were all furious. Moreover, when they heard that the Scarlet Moon family actually knelt to someone else, they were so angry that they vomited blood. They were the Scarlet Moon family, a big family in the Qianshan domain. When had they ever been humiliated like that? Not only did the other party make the Scarlet Moon kneel, but he also destroyed the Scarlet Moon's cultivation and family jewels. This was the rhythm of starting a war with the Scarlet Moon family. Damn it! Who was it? Who did it? The patriarch of the Scarlet Moon family was a middle-aged man. He was wearing a purple robe and his face was cold. His eyes were filled with endless anger. It's a young man. We don't know his identity. However, he is related to the Zhao family. Previously in the square, it was the Zhao family's second miss, Zhao Zhirua, who personally picked them up. The Zhao family. Hearing those words, the Scarlet Moon family's patriarch and the surrounding elders all frowned. How did this matter have anything to do with the Zhao family? Send someone to investigate thoroughly. We must get detailed information. Countless warriors moved out and used the Scarlet Moon family's huge information network to investigate. Pirates will die. Sure enough, 4 hours later, the news came back. Patriarch, that man and woman. The woman is Zhao Zhirua's junior sister, and the man and woman are lovers. However, we still don't know the identity of that young man. Junior sister? Jade Lake, sacred ground. Hearing this, the patriarch of the Scarlet Moon family frowned and then snorted. So what? This is middle ground. Their hands can't reach so far. Men, go to the Zhao family and get them. I don't believe that the Zhao family dares to stop me. The patriarch of the Scarlet Moon family was really angry. This time, he must catch the culprit and tear him into pieces. Soon, the Scarlet Moon family sent people. 2 almighties and 4 six-star kings. A total of 5 people soared into the sky and flew toward Stellar Sky City. On the other side, Stellar Sky City, Zhao family. The Zhao family was the strongest family in Stellar Sky City. Therefore, it occupied an extremely large area. There were palaces and pavilions scattered all over the place. There were countless guards, and the security was tight. There were arrays flashing on the ground and walls. It was obvious that this was a powerful family. Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing stayed in an exquisite pavilion. The surrounding environment was very good. There was a waterfall, a stream, and countless gardens. Junior sister, the 2 of you should rest first. There's a banquet tonight. I'll bring you around tomorrow. Zhao Zhirua chatted with the 2 of them for a while, then got up and left. When the Zhao family learned that Murong Qingqing was coming, they were also very excited. They began to prepare for the banquet and planned to entertain Murong Qingqing. After all, although she was only Zhao Zhirua's junior sister, her status was much more noble than Zhao Zhirua's. The Zhao family did not dare to neglect her. In the evening, Zhao Zhirua and the patriarch of the Zhao family, a middle-aged man, personally came to invite Morong Qingqing. A group of elders followed behind them. "Saintess, please." The patriarch of the Zhao family smiled. "You're too polite," Morong Qingqing said with a smile. Then she held Lin Xian's arm and the two of them set off for the banquet. The Zhao family did not know about Lin Xian's identity, but they thought that he definitely had a close relationship with Morong Qingqing. Therefore, they were also very respectful to him. Chapter 2256. The banquet was very lively. The Zhao family's patriarch and elders all attended. Apart from them, the outstanding young people also came. They also wanted to see how beautiful the jade, Lake Saintess, was. When the young people of the Zhao family saw Morong Qingqing, they were all shocked. They had seen a lot of beauties, and they had seen a lot of peerless beauties as well. However, compared to Morong Qingqing, all of them seemed to pale in comparison. However, when they saw the handsome young man sitting next to Morong Qingqing, they shook their heads and sighed. Judging from their actions, they were undoubtedly a couple. Such a peerless beauty actually had partner. This made their hearts ache. However, they did not dare to act rashly. However, everyone's gaze was fixated on Lin Xian. They were very curious about the identity of the other party. Judging from his current aura, his aura was not fierce. Could it be that he was just a gigolo? They were very puzzled. Boom! Halfway through the banquet, there was a sudden roar in the distant sky. Then, countless rays of light shone brilliantly like fireworks. They lit up in the sky. What was going on? Seeing this, everyone put down their wine glasses. The Zhao family's patriarch also frowned. It was obvious that the Zhao family's defensive array had been activated. Whoosh! A Zhao family martial artist flew over from afar, landed on the ground, and knelt on one knee. Reporting to the patriarch, someone tried to attack, but we stopped them. However, the other party came aggressively and threatened to hand over the murderer. Hand over the murderer? What murderer? The elders of the Zhao family also frowned. It was a good banquet. Why would someone come knocking on their door? How dare they behave so atrociously in the Zhao family? Did they have a death wish? Who dares to be so presumptuous? An elder asked coldly. They are from the Qi Yu family, led by two mighty figures. They want the Zhao family to hand over the murderer who injured Qi Yu Ko. The Qi Yu family. Many people were discussing. Zhao Zhirua frowned and glanced at Lin Xian. Many people around them also looked over. They had heard about what happened during the day. The news had spread throughout the entire Tianqing city, so it was difficult for them not to know. For a moment, everyone was discussing spiritedly. The few elders were also discussing. "Zhirua, what do you think we should do?" An elder said in a deep voice. Zhao Zhirua's eyes flickered, and she was about to say something. However, before she could say anything, Lin Xian said indifferently, "Since they're here for me, I'll go out and meet them." As he said that, Lin Xian stood up. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all stunned. The elders were all extremely surprised. The young people were even more. Many people, they curled their lips, they thought from their mouths. That was because the Crimson Moon clan did not send ordinary kings. They were two almighties. Almighty, that was an elder-level existence. The difference was the difference between heaven and earth. No matter how powerful this kid in front of him was, how could he possibly contend against a mighty figure? Lin. The elders of the Zhao family also opened their mouths, wanting to persuade him. However, Lin Xian's figure flashed as he soared into the sky. Everyone was stunned. Zhao Zhiro also looked at Morong Qingqing. Her eyes filled with worry. Is it okay for him to go by himself? Should I send someone to follow him? Morong Qingqing smiled faintly. Don't worry, senior sister. It's just two supreme experts. It won't affect Brother Xian much. Just two supreme experts? Hearing this, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They looked at Murong Qingcheng, the corners of their mouths twitching. However, they were extremely puzzled, because Murong Qingcheng was the holy maiden. She might have the right to say such words. But why did that kid have such confidence? Could it be that that kid was also a supreme expert? But how was that possible? A supreme expert in his 20s, other than the holy sons and holy daughters. Who else could reach that level? This kid was obviously not a holy son. How could he be a supreme expert? Why don't we go take a look? A few young people whispered to each other. In the end, they all looked at the elders. The elders' eyes also flickered. To be honest, they did not believe that Lin Xian could defeat the powerhouses of the Red Moon clan. The patriarch was also a little worried. He said that since the powerhouses of the Red Moon clan had come, the Zhao clan could not be rude. Someone, go and welcome the Red Moon clan. Although it was said to be a welcome, it was actually a tacit permission for these people to go and watch the battle. As expected, the young disciples cupped their fists and said, "Patriarch, I'm willing to go." Buzz. They soared into the sky, looking impatient. In fact, two of the elders also waved their sleeves and followed after him. Pirates must die. In an instant, many warriors at the banquet followed. However, Murong Qingqing did not go. She sat there with a calm expression. Zhao Zhirua was a little surprised. Are you really not worried? Senior sister, you'll know later. Murong Qingqing smiled. On the other side, outside the Zhao manor, light flickered, forming a light screen that covered the entire sky. Outside the light screen, there were 6 figures, 2 mighty figures and 4 six-star kings. They were the powerhouses of the Red Moon clan. At this moment, their gazes were piercingly cold, and their bodies were surging with killing intent. Of the 2 mighty figures, one was a middle-aged man, and the other was an old man. The old man walked up and said loudly, "The Red Moon clan has no intention of starting a war with the Zhao clan. We just want to capture the culprit who injured our young master." Why? Is the Zhao clan trying to protect the culprit? Although the Zhao clan is powerful, if this matter were to spread, you would probably be laughed at by the world. The guards of the Zhao clan had solemn expressions, as if they were facing a great enemy. Hearing this, they did not answer. They had already sent someone to inform the elders of the clan. They would probably make a decision soon. What they needed to do now was to guard these formations and prevent the other party from attacking. Seeing that the Zhao clan did not respond, the powerhouses of the Red Moon clan in front of them had gloomy expressions. The middle-aged mighty figure also snorted coldly. Why? Is the Zhao clan not going to give an explanation? Explanation? What explanation do you want? At this moment, a sneer was heard. Following that, a handsome young man appeared in the sky with a flash of light. Seeing this young man, everyone was stunned. The people of the Red Moon clan also frowned. The old man snorted coldly. "Who are you, kid? Do you have the right to speak here? Get the elders of your clan to come out." What an idiot! Lin Xian sneered disdainfully. "Aren't you here to capture the culprit? Why? Don't you even know who the culprit is? What? Damn it! It's you!" Hearing this, the expressions of the Red Moon clan warriors changed, and their eyes shone with a fierce light. Chapter 2257. They didn't expect that the kid in front of them was the murderer they wanted to catch. However, he dared to come out. He was really arrogant. "Kid, you don't know what death is. If you had stayed in the Zhao family obediently like a coward, we would have killed you. Perhaps we wouldn't have been able to catch you, but we didn't expect you to come out of your own accord. Since that's the case, don't blame us. Kneel down obediently and surrender. Come back to the family with us, and we can give you a quick death. Otherwise, you'll suffer a fate worse than death." Humph! Lin Xian waved his hand impatiently. Cut the crap. You just want to catch me, right? Go ahead and do it. Let's see if you have the ability. What? The young disciples of the Zhao family who had rushed over were all dumbfounded. Damn, this kid is too arrogant. He dares to talk so big in front of two mighty figures? Does he think that the Zhao family will help him? This kid is too pretentious. I'm worried that he will be killed later. Maybe he will be killed. The Zhao family won't let him be taken away. But thinking about it, he will definitely be embarrassed. I really don't know where he gets the right to be so arrogant. These people whispered and watched the show from behind. The few elders who had rushed over also frowned. Although they also felt that Lin Xian was too arrogant, after some discussion, they still decided to save his life at the critical moment. After all, this was someone who had a close relationship with the Jade Lake Saintess. They wouldn't let his life be in danger. On the Zhao family side, they were ready to save him at the critical moment. On the other side, the martial artists of the Red Moon family were furious. This time, they had 2 supreme beings and 4 six-star kings with them. Each of them was very powerful. And the other party, a kid, dared to look down on them? Elder, let me go kill him. A 6-star king roared angrily. Well, go ahead. Be careful not to kill him. You must catch him alive. The old Almighty nodded. Then the 6-star king who had spoken stood up with a hideous smile on his face. He looked to be in his 30s, but his real age was more than 300 years old. Moreover, his cultivation had reached the late-stage 6-star king realm. He was 1 step away from becoming a mighty figure. It could be said that he was a genius. This person walked out, stood in the void, and laughed coldly. Brat, get over here and accept your death. Seeing this person come out, the Zhao family's people began to discuss spiritedly. It was actually him, New Red Moon. That's right. This was a genius of the Scarlet Moon clan. Rumor had it that he was about to reach the Almighty Realm. Unexpectedly, the first one to make a move was actually him. Looks like that kid is going to be out of luck. The young disciples of the Zhao family discussed animatedly. A few elders also secretly transmitted their voices, preparing to help. However, Lin Xian glanced at him and sneered disdainfully. Just you? It wasn't enough. The 6 of you can attack together. I don't have the time to accompany you here. What? The 6 of them attacked together. The corners of the Zhao clan members' mouths twitched. They increasingly felt that Lin Xian was insolent. On the other hand, the Qi clan was so angry that they vomited blood. Especially Qi Yuexin, his face was gloomy, and a wisp of ferocity appeared in his eyes. Brat, you really don't know life from death. If you weren't in the array, I could have killed you with just 1 slap. Is that so? Then try slapping me. Lin Xian sneered. He took a step forward and instantly left the Zhao clan's defensive array. F***CK. That brat really left. The martial artists of the Zhao clan were dumbfounded. Those from the Qiyu clan were also stunned. But soon, that Scarlet Moon Shinshin started laughing maniacally. What a reckless fool. Buzz. He raised his hand and slapped out. In his palm, countless blue lights shone and turned into stars that quickly descended from the sky. Astral palm. The palm covered the sky as if it was the universe that was mercilessly descending. What a terrifying energy! This new red moon had indeed surpassed an ordinary 6-star king. He was probably not far from becoming a true almighty. Humph! How dare you attack New Red Moon? You really don't know life from death. The Qi Yu clan members sneered. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the sky. Looking at the rapidly descending astral palm, the corners of his mouth curled up into a sneer. The next moment, he also stretched out his palm and grabbed forward. You don't know life from death. How dare you resist? If I were him, I would have escaped long ago. The young martial artists of the Zhao clan discussed. The elders of the Zhao clan sighed and shook their heads. Sure enough, he was still too young and did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Let's save him. They were ready to make a move, but soon they were stunned. In the sky, the incomparably mysterious astral palm transformed into countless stars, and all of them suddenly exploded. The stars exploded one after another, tearing the void apart and forming black holes. Boom! In an instant, the astral palm shattered into pieces. As for New Red Moon, he also screamed in pain as his palm bled. His face was full of horror. Damn it! What happened? Not only him, but everyone else also did not know what had happened. However, in the next moment, their vision blurred. Ah! New Red Moon screamed in pain. He felt a sharp palm grabbing his head and pulling him far away. This was naturally Lin Xian's palm. He shattered the terrifying astral palm with one palm, then grabbed New Red Moon and pulled him in front of him. Then he sneered. You want me to kneel and die? Wait to be captured? I don't know life from death? Damn it! How is this possible? I don't believe it. New Red Moon screamed crazily. The other party broke his ultimate move with one palm. He even grabbed him. This made him unable to believe it. He was a genius. He was a powerhouse who was about to become an almighty. Damn it! Get lost! The energy in his body exploded, forming a terrifying storm that wanted to shatter the kid in front of him. However, in an instant his body turned cold because the violent energy in his body was instantly frozen into ice. You want me to kneel and die? Kneel down before me. Lin Xian held the other party's head and pressed gently. Immediately, New Red Moon screamed in pain and knelt in midair. He did not kneel on his own initiative, but was forcefully pressed down. Therefore, his legs were instantly broken and turned into a bloody mist. Countless cracks appeared in the void below and spread to the surroundings. Everyone was stunned by this scene. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. He actually subdued New Red Moon in an instant? How was that possible? The young warriors of the Zhao family were stunned. The elders were also stunned. They could not believe it. The people of the Red Moon family were even more adorable. However, they soon came to their senses. Especially the two Almighties. They roared crazily. Damn it! Stop! That was the genius of the Red Moon family. He would soon become an almighty. They would not allow any mishaps to happen to such a person. Therefore, in the next moment, the two of them turned into shooting stars and rushed over quickly. Lin Xian looked at this scene and sneered. Fine, I'll return it to you. He waved his hand and threw out New Red Moonthorn. Chapter 2258. That's great. Seeing this, the two Almighty smiled and heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. However, in the next moment, their expressions became extremely ugly. That was because Qi Yu's new body suddenly exploded in midair, turning into a bloody mist that floated in the sky. Dead. A mighty late-stage 6-star king tier was actually killed in an instant. Everyone went crazy. The two Almighties of the Qi Yu family even screamed crazily. Damn brat, I'm going to kill you. Let's attack together. The two Almighties snorted coldly, and the 3 6-star kings behind them also rushed out quickly. Their king domains covered the surroundings. They blocked all of Lin Xian's escape routes. They would not let the other party escape. However, why would Lin Xian escape? He had no intention of escaping at all. Looking at the people rushing towards him, his eyes gradually emitted a cold light. Buzz! He waved his arm, and countless sword lights lit up in the sky. Each of them was as fast as lightning. Whoosh! Whoosh! Then Lin Xian turned around and slowly descended towards the Zhao family. The martial artists of the Zhao family were stunned. What's going on? However, soon they screamed and almost fainted from fright. In the sky, 2 Almighties and 3 kings suddenly broke into several pieces. Blood flowed wildly, and the broken corpses fell to the ground. They were all dead. At this moment, nearly 100 martial artists of the Zhao family, including the guards and elders, were all dumbfounded. Everyone was dumbfounded by this scene. What did they just see? 2 Almighties and 3 Six-Star Kings were killed in a single strike. When they came back to their senses, the elders of the Zhao family gasped with fear in their eyes. They were all Almighties, so they naturally knew how difficult it was to kill an Almighty. However, this man had slain 2 Supreme Beings with ease, and he had even taken 3 Six-Star Kings with him. This could no longer be described as shocking. This was absolutely heaven-defying. At this moment, they finally understood why the other party was so nonchalant earlier. It was because he was definitely a top genius. He killed Almighties like cutting grass. If they had such strength, they would not be worried. The young disciples of the Zhao family all swallowed their saliva. Looking at the figure in front of them, their scalps went numb. Previously, they had thought that he was just being pretentious and that he wasn't worthy of Morong Qingqing. But now it seemed that they were gravely mistaken. The other party's strength was definitely far beyond their imagination. It was even far beyond the Almighties. They had never seen a young man who was about the same age as them be so powerful. They didn't even dare to think about chasing after him. After dealing with these people from the Red Moon clan, Lin Xian turned around and returned to the array formation. Then he said to the elders of the Zhao family, "A few small shrimps, you've delayed our banquet. You'd better go back. However, I still need you to clean up the battlefield." "Huh, good." The warriors and guards of the Zhao family nodded blankly. Even now, they couldn't believe what was happening in front of them. Lin Xian shrugged and turned to return to the banquet. Zhao family banquet. At this moment, only a small number of people were left. Apart from the patriarch and a few elders, only Zhao, Zhirua, and Morong Qingqing were left among the younger generation. To be honest, apart from Morong Qingqing, these people were also puzzled. They didn't know what was going on over there. However, at this moment, the sound of something tearing through the air suddenly came from afar. Then, a bolt of lightning descended towards the banquet. Seeing the scene, the elders all raised their heads. What's going on? Could it be that something happened and they're here to report it? However, in the next moment, they were stunned. That was because they realized that the figure wasn't a warrior or guard of the Zhao family, but Lin Xian. What's going on? Why is he back? Could it be that he came back because he's afraid? Or he doesn't dare to stand up? The elders thought so in their hearts. Zhao Zhirua had similar thoughts in her heart, so she frowned. In her opinion, the other party was too pretentious. If he didn't dare to stand up, then so be it. Why did he have to put on an act and come back halfway? In fact, she even wanted to find an opportunity to persuade Morong Qingqing if it was worth it to associate with such a person. However, before she could say anything, countless figures quickly descended from behind. This time it was the elders and young disciples of the Zhao family. Why are they all back? Where are the people of the Qi Yu family? Have they left? These people were extremely puzzled. Many of the elders even laughed proudly. The Qi Yu family was nothing in front of the Zhao family. They were probably frightened by the strength of the Zhao family, so they obediently went back. These people were immensely proud of themselves, but the elders who had just returned looked at these people strangely, speechless. What's going on? What's with your expressions? What happened? These people stopped laughing because they realized that the people who had returned had grave expressions. Even the young people's faces were pale, as if they had been frightened. What's going on? What happened? The first elder asked. Where are the people of the Qi Yu family? Could it be that you guys fought? Lin Xian returned to his seat and didn't say anything. As for the young people of the Zhao family, they seemed to have recalled something. Their bodies trembled, and they didn't dare to say anything. A few elders of the Zhao family took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "The people of the Qi Yu family were killed." Was he killed? Who told you to do it? The first elder frowned. Although they weren't afraid of the Qi Yu family, they were still a big family in the Qianshan domain, and their strength couldn't be underestimated. Unless it was absolutely necessary, they wouldn't become enemies with such a family. But now, the people of the Chiyu family were killed by them. This would definitely cause a war between the two families. First elder, it wasn't us who did it. The elders of the Zhao family also shook their heads. They naturally knew how powerful it was. How could they kill the people of the Chiyu family? It wasn't you guys who did it? Then who did it? The first elder frowned even more. Other than their elders, who else could have such strength? However, in the next moment, he was stunned and subconsciously looked at Lin Xian. Could it be that it was this kid? A thought arose in their minds, but they didn't dare to believe it. However, when they saw the frightened faces of the people who had returned to watch the battle, their hearts beat wildly. Could it be that it was really this kid? Don't blame them. It was indeed me who did it. They were just a few small fries. How dare they jump in front of me? I just killed them. Don't worry. If the people of the Chiyu family want to blame someone, just tell them to come to me. I won't cause any trouble for the Zhao family. What? It was really him. The elders who didn't go cried out in shock. They couldn't believe it. The head of the Zhao family also frowned. What was going on? Chapter 2259. The Zhao family's patriarch spoke, and those few elders hurriedly recounted what had happened earlier. When these people heard that Lin Xian had killed 2 mighty figures and 3 six-star kings with a single strike, they were all stunned. Clang! 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 The wine glasses in their hands all fell to the ground. Heavens! They weren't dreaming, were they? How could the other party be so powerful? These elders did not dare to believe it. Zhao Zhu was also shocked, and the corners of her mouth twitched. She knew that she had misjudged this time. Although she did not know the young man in front of her, he was definitely at the level of a saint. Thinking of this, she smiled bitterly. Originally, she had looked down on the other party, but she did not expect that she was too ignorant. Everyone was shocked. Only Murong Qingqing had a smile on her face, because she had already guessed this result. Lin Xian also smiled as he raised his wine glass. The wine was still warm, so he could drink it. Lin Xian was tasting the wine, but the others were not in the mood. Now, everything they ate tasted tasteless because the news was too shocking. It was as if lightning had struck them unconscious. On the other side, the Chiyu family. The entire Chiyu family quickly moved. They invited the best doctors and alchemists to treat Chiyuka's injuries. Although Chiyuka's life was saved, his crippled cultivation could not be recovered in a short time. More importantly, his genitals couldn't be repaired either. This news made the patriarch's face extremely gloomy. With his cultivation crippled and his manhood destroyed, Chiyuka's life was over. Although he was not killed, it was worse than death. When Chiyuka heard this, he naturally could not accept it. He screamed crazily, "Kill him! You must kill him! You must kill him! Avenge me! Don't worry, we will definitely avenge you." A middle-aged woman held Chiyuka's hand and said through gritted teeth, "I will capture that kid and pull out his tendons and bones. I will let him taste torture 10 times more painful than you. And that woman, I will capture her and make her serve you for the rest of her life. Don't worry, I won't let anyone who offended you have a good ending." The middle-aged woman's expression was incomparably ferocious. The Red Moon family head's expression was also ice-cold. He said in a cold voice, "What's wrong? The people I sent out haven't returned yet? Why would it take so much effort to catch a brat? Or was it that the Zhao family was unwilling to let him go? Master, something bad has happened." At this moment, news came from afar. A martial artist ran over in a panic, his face extremely pale. "What's going on?" The clan leader of the Chiyu clan asked coldly. Could it be that they had captured that brat? "No," the subordinate said, trembling. "Our men were killed." Was he killed? Hearing this, all the martial artists in the room were stunned. What kind of joke was this? Those were 2 supreme beings and 4 6-star king tiers. How could he have been killed? The Red Moon Patriarch's face turned even darker as he gritted his teeth. Damn it, could it be that the Zhao clan had made a move? In his opinion, only the Zhao family could deal with these powerhouses. We don't know, but according to the Zhao family, that kid did it himself. Their Zhao family didn't participate at all. Did that kid do it? What a joke! Do you really think we're idiots? The Red Moon Patriarch snorted coldly. The others in the room also had looks of disbelief. That kid looked like he was in his 20s. How powerful could he be? Even if he was a 6-star king, it would still be fine. However, they had sent out 2 supreme beings. How could that kid possibly resist them? It must be the Zhao family. Damn it, they've gone too far. Master, what should we do now? The person beside him asked. It seemed that the Zhao family was determined to protect the other party. So what if they protected him? Do they think our Red Moon family is easy to bully? I don't believe that the Zhao family really dares to start a war with us. The middle-aged woman gritted her teeth and said, she was Red Moon Ku's mother and the wife of the Red Moon family patriarch. At this moment, when she learned that the mission had failed, she was so angry that her face was filled with madness. The Red Moon family patriarch's face was also gloomy. He snorted coldly. He actually dared to protect the murder. I will definitely not let this matter rest. This way, send more people over. At the same time, contact the other families and go together. Tell them that our Red Moon family is being asked for an explanation. I don't believe that the Zhao family would dare to do the same to the other big families. Yes, I'll go and prepare now. His subordinates, the elders, also began to move. This time, the Red Moon family was really angry. Therefore, they sent out a powerful team again. This time, they sent 3 elite supreme beings, 5 supreme beings, and dozens of 6-star kings. There were also other kings. There were a total of more than 100 people, and they set off in a mighty manner. This lineup was absolutely terrifying. Not only that, they also contacted the other big families in the Qianshan domain. They were all on good terms with the Red Moon family. The other 3 big families also sent some people over. The 4 big families headed to Sky Star City together in a mighty manner. By the time they arrived, it was already the next morning. The sky had just brightened. The sun rose, and the number of people in the city gradually increased. However, at this moment, a dark cloud suddenly appeared above their heads. Then a violent wind whistled, and a terrifying aura descended from the sky. It was as if it was going to crush the entire city. The martial artists in the city raised their heads and looked up. Then they screamed, "What's going on?" Could it be that someone is going to attack the city? Is it a demonic beast? Or is it something else? They were terrified because they realized that it was not a dark cloud above their heads, but a dense shadow. Each of them emitted a cold and terrifying aura as if they were going to break the world. They were not demonic beasts, but humans. Countless humans. Countless powerhouses. Many people exclaimed, and even more people were shocked. Damn it! Are they going to attack my Sky Star City? Stop fooling around. This is the Ninely Dynasty. All the lands in the world belong to the king. Who dares to attack the city? Damn it, who is this? What are they trying to do? Everyone went crazy. More and more people looked at the sky and discussed animatedly. Even the people of the city, Lord's Mansion, were alarmed. Countless guards formed a formation as if they were facing a great enemy. He moved quickly, holding his sword and saber, and raised it to the sky. There was even a middle-aged man in armor who shouted coldly, "Stop! Who are you?" In the sky, countless figures flickered, but they did not descend. This made the warriors and guards in the city heave a sigh of relief. However, at this moment, a cold figure stood out. It was an old man dressed in black. His entire body was emitting a black light. He looked down, his gaze piercing through the void, and said coldly, "We are from the Red Moon family. This time we have joined forces with the three big families to ask the Zhao family for an explanation. Zhao family? Ask for an explanation? What explanation? Everyone was puzzled. When did the Red Moon family go against the Zhao family? Chapter 2260. Since when did the Red Moon clan go against the Zhao clan? They didn't know. And from the looks of it, the hatred was especially great. Humph! The old man in the sky snorted coldly and spoke clearly. His voice was like thunder, clearly spreading to every corner of the city. My young master Qi Yu has been crippled, and the culprit is in the Zhao family. However, the Zhao family refused to release them and even mercilessly killed the people we sent out. Up until now, there wasn't even a single explanation. Since that's the case, my Crimson Moon clan has no choice but to come here personally to demand an explanation. In the end, his voice was like a clap of thunder, causing everyone's ears to go numb. What? The young master of the Qi Yu clan was crippled? Are you talking about what happened 2 days ago? Many people were talking about it. Obviously, they had heard about what had happened before. After all, it had happened in Stellar Sky City. However, they did not expect that the matter was not over. Instead, it became more and more intense. It was very likely that it would evolve into a duel between the two great families. Although the overall strength of the Qiyu clan was inferior to the Zhao clan, however, the Crimson Moon clan was a big clan after all. This time, they had joined forces with the other 3 big clans. Perhaps, even if the Zhao clan was incomparably powerful, it was impossible for them to remain indifferent. And from the looks of it, no matter how one looked at it, the Zhao family was in the wrong. The scene here naturally alarmed the city lord mansion. Immediately, the people of the city lord's mansion hurried to the Zhao family to inquire about the situation. The Zhao family also received the news. For a moment, countless Zhao family cultivators looked up at the sky. Seeing the dense crowd in the distance, they frowned. What was the Red Moon clan trying to do? They actually dared to gather the other 3 great clans and come knocking on their door together? Do you really think that the Zhao family is easy to bully? Don't be impulsive. No matter what, the Scarlet Moon clan belongs to the 6th prince. Unless it was absolutely necessary, it was best not to start a war with them. However, this does not mean that our Zhao family is afraid of him. He hurriedly sent someone to explain the situation. As the Zhao family head gave the order, countless Zhao family warriors began to move. On the other side, Lin Xian stood up. He said in a clear voice, I have already said that I will take care of the Qi Yu clan's matters alone. It had nothing to do with the Zhao family, so you don't have to worry. As he spoke, his figure flashed, and he soared into the sky, flying into the distance. What? This kid wants to solve it himself? Seeing the scene, these people felt their scalps go numb. Although they had been shocked by Lin Xian's strength yesterday, the Qiyu clan was incomparably terrifying. They didn't just have almighties. There were elite almighties, pinnacle almighties, and even peerless almighties. If such a terrifying clan was angered, even if Lin Xian was a prodigy, no matter how strong he would not be able to resist. So, very quickly, the Zhao family head said to send people to follow them so that nothing bad would happen. A few elders hurriedly led the martial artists over. On the other hand, after Zhao Zhuo received the news, she did not delay any longer. She quickly went to look for Morong Qingcheng. The 2 of them also flew over in a flash. In an instant, many young people from the Zhao family followed them. Buzz, buzz, buzz! In the sky above Stellar Sky City, the atmosphere was heavy. It was as if 10,000 mountains were pressing down on them, causing the martial artists in the city to be unable to breathe. However, right at that moment, a ray of light sliced through the void and instantly sliced apart that heavy aura. This caused everyone to heave a sigh of relief. Then they were all shocked. Who came? Could it be that an exceptional expert came? In the next moment, they looked over. Then they were stunned. That was because they realized that the person who came out was actually a young man, a very unfamiliar young man. They did not know that person. Many people discussed among themselves, and a small number of people even exclaimed, "It was him. He was the one who crippled the young master of the Chiyu family." What? Are you saying that he's the culprit? Heavens, he still dares to come out? Everyone was extremely shocked. They did not know Lin Xian's true strength and identity. Therefore, in their opinion, a young man who dared to come out at this time was definitely out of his mind. Under normal circumstances, he would have secretly run away. "Who are you?" The martial artists of the Chiyu family shouted coldly. Lin Xian looked at them and sneered. "A bunch of idiots. I'm the person you're looking for." "What? You're not convinced? Then do it. You have a death wish." Those people came to their senses and were extremely angry. This kid is the culprit we're looking for? He doesn't seem like much. Not only is he arrogant, but he's also an idiot. He dares to fight against thousands of troops alone. That made them feel that it was unreal. They even felt that there was a trap. Sure enough, in the next moment, the sound of something tearing through the air came from afar again. Following that, countless people quickly rushed over. The first to appear were a few elders of the Zhao family. They stopped near Lin Xian and looked ahead, frowning. They looked as if they were facing a great enemy. Behind them, the martial artists of the Zhao family arrived one after another and also stopped in the void. Zhao, Jiruo, and Murong Qingqing also arrived. They came to Lin Xian's side. In an instant, the martial artists of the Zhao family all released a powerful aura to fight against the other party. In the sky, two huge forces of energy collided, tearing through the void, and a shocking crack appeared. It was like a black hole that was bottomless. There was indeed a trap. Seeing so many experts and elders of the Zhao family, the Chiyu family's faces darkened. "Kid, do you think that we can't do anything to you just because you have the support of the Zhao family? Let me tell you, if you provoke the Chiyu family, no one can save you." "Humph. Is that so? Why don't you try?" Zhao Jiruo shouted. Although she was a woman, the aura on her body was incomparably fierce. Since when did the people of the Chiyu family dare to behave atrociously in front of the Zhao family? It seems that the Chiyu family has become more and more presumptuous in the past 2 years with the support of the sixth prince. Today, I'll let them know the foundation and strength of the Zhao family. Seeing that the Zhao family wanted to stand up for them, the people of the Chiyu family frowned. However, the black-clothed old man only sneered at this. "Why? Just because the Zhao family is powerful, you want to be lawless and bully us? The Zhao family is powerful, but you can't be unjust. That's right, it's only right to catch the murderer. Why is the Zhao family stopping you? Could it be that there's some shady business between you two?" The people of the 3 great families also stood up. They sneered. For a moment, these people pushed the Zhao family to the forefront of the storm. Those people below, they also began to talk about it. Damn it, these people dare to splash dirty water on the Zhao family. When the elders of the Zhao family heard this, their faces became incomparably ugly. Lin Xian sneered. "All right, don't waste your energy. I did kill him. Your young master Qi, he was crippled by me. The 2 Almighties and 4 six-star kings yesterday were also killed by me. Everything was done by me. It has nothing to do with the Zhao family." "What, you killed them all?" Hearing this, the people of the 4 great families were stunned. Chapter 2261. The people of the Red Moon clan were even more stunned. The warriors below were discussing animatedly. This kid was actually able to kill 2 Almighties and 4 six-star kings? Heavens, I'm not dreaming, am I? This is definitely fake. It can't be real. The people of the Red Moon clan also sneered. "Kid, don't joke around. You think you can kill mighty figures? Who do you think you are? This was definitely done by the Zhao clan. Humph, isn't the Zhao clan powerful? You dare to do it, but don't dare to admit it? Or are you trying to be a coward? The people of the Red Moon clan sneered. The people of the other 3 clans also agreed. This time, the combined strength of the 4 clans was not inferior to the Zhao clan, so they were fearless. The warriors of the Zhao clan were furious, and Lin Xian's face also darkened. Why are you suspecting me? Fine, I'll prove it to you. Speaking of this, he took a step forward and clenched his fist. A sword light lit up between heaven and earth. Clang! Poof! Then the sword light disappeared. On the opposite side, a mighty figure of the Red Moon clan screamed as he was split in half. His blood dyed the void red. What? He was killed. Everyone screamed in disbelief. The people of the Red Moon clan were even crazier, especially those who were closer. Their faces were splashed with blood. They were trembling, and their eyes were filled with fear. What was going on? They did not have any reaction at all, and one of their mighty figures was killed. Damn it, what kind of method was this? The people of the Red Moon clan were crazy, and the people of the other 3 clans were also terrified. The warriors of the Stellar Sky City below were completely stunned. Shock! This scene brought them great shock. They were completely stunned. The people of the Zhao clan were also shocked, but fortunately they had seen Lin Xian's methods yesterday, so they could still maintain their consciousness at this moment. Now believe what I said. Lin Xian's voice sounded between heaven and earth again. Everyone was stunned. Killing a mighty figure with a sword, what kind of strength was this? They did not dare to imagine. When Lin Xian's voice sounded, these people even trembled. The entire world was silent. Even the people from the Red Moon clan were scared silly. Lin Xian said coldly as he scanned the surroundings, I did cripple the young master of the Qiyu clan, but that was because he deserved to die. He coveted my wife's beauty and wanted to take her for himself. He even relied on his status as the young master of the Qiyu clan to bully others. They sent over a dozen kings to kill me. Let me ask you, if you were in such a situation, what would you do? What? So this was the reason. Below, when the martial artists in Stellar Sky City heard these words, they all started discussing. Many of them clenched their fists and gritted their teeth. Damn it, this Scarlet Crescent Drake was truly too hateful. That's right, he was the kind of person who used his power to bully others. He didn't expect to kick an iron plate this time. A person like him deserved to die. Not killing him was already a great favor. That's right. Looking at this kid's skills, he must be a peerless genius. How could such a person endure such humiliation? If I had such strength, I would have killed that young Master Qi long ago. Not killing him is already giving him face. I didn't expect the Qiyu clan to be so shameless. That's right, they inverted right and wrong, and even tried to confuse us. How hateful! Hurry up and get lost. Angry roars came one after another. The martial artists below were all enraged. They were originally ordinary people. Therefore, what they hated the most was this kind of bullying. And this time, young Master Qi Yu's reputation was already in tatters. Naturally, everyone didn't have a good impression of him. Seeing this scene, the Zhao clan people heaved a sigh of relief. The Qiyu clan people opposite them had gloomy expressions. They were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Damn it, the victim's identity that they had created had been exposed in an instant. Not only that, their current situation was very bad. The cultivators of Stellar Sky City below were so enraged. If they attacked together, it would be very dangerous. Damn kid, you're courting death. The black-robed old man roared with a gloomy expression. The time from when the other party killed their almighty to when he said this was too short. So much so that they didn't even react. Now that they reacted, the matter was already irreversible. Lin Xian snorted coldly. I'm not saying this because I'm afraid of you. I just don't want people to misunderstand the Zhao clan. I don't want to drag the Zhao clan down. Now that the matter has been clarified, we can settle the matter between us. To be honest, in order to keep a low profile, I've already been very merciful. But you actually don't know what's good for you and dare to send an army to kill me? Since that's the case, you don't have to go back. Are you going to kill yourselves, or do you want me to do it? At this point, Lin Xian's eyes emitted a cold light. As soon as this voice came out, the clamor below broke out again. Everyone's hearts were beating wildly. Domineering, too domineering. He dared to say such a thing in the face of thousands of troops alone. One had to admit that Lin Xian's current figure was deeply imprinted in the minds of these people. The Zhao clan people were also stunned. Zhao Zhirua's eyes flickered as she looked at the figure, seemingly in a daze. Murong Qingqing at the side stood there with a pair of beautiful eyes and a faint smile on her face. On the other side, the people of the Qiyu clan were so angry that they vomited blood. The 4 great clans had joined forces to suppress him. How dare that guy be so arrogant? He's courting death. Stop talking nonsense with him. Hurry up and capture that kid. The people of the 3 great clans said coldly. They had originally come to show off, but now, no matter how they looked at it, they felt sullen. Naturally, they were embarrassed. Therefore, they asked the Qiyu clan to hurry up and attack. Humph! Go, kill him. The 3 mighty figures snorted coldly, and 20 kings followed behind them. They turned into a torrent and quickly charged over. That's all? It's not enough. Lin Xian sneered, and his fingers quickly formed a seal. A hell's ice lotus flew out from his fingertip and spun in the air, quickly charging over. Boom! Boom! In the next moment, the hell's ice lotus completely exploded, enveloping the 3 mighty figures. Between heaven and earth, terrifying black flames erupted, and the power of frost filled the sky. In an instant, countless screams sounded. Soon these people fell silent. When all the energy disappeared, everyone looked at the sky and were all dumbfounded. The 3 Almighties and 20 kings were instantly annihilated, leaving nothing behind. They were all killed. Those people's voices trembled, and the people of the Qiyu clan went crazy. In fact, they were even trembling. The faces of the people of the 3 great clans were pale without a trace of blood. Damn it, who was that person? At that moment, the people of the 3 great clans were in despair. That was because they realized that they had been tricked. Before they came, the people of the Qiyu clan had told them that they were only there to capture a young boy, and that the main reason they joined forces this time was to intimidate the Zhao clan. However, it seemed that was not the case. Chapter 2262. No matter how they looked at it, the other party did not look like a brat. He was a peerless demon king. Now, the Zhao family had not even made a move. Just the other party alone had killed 3 mighty figures and more than 20 kings with a raise of his hand. Such means were heaven-defying. They had never seen such a thing before. Therefore, these people felt a chill in their hearts, and their expressions were incomparably ugly. After Lin Xian succeeded, he looked at the other party and sneered. Why, not making a move? Then it's my turn. Whoosh! In the next moment, he turned into a stream of light and quickly rushed forward. Damn it, kill him! Kill him with all your might. The black-robed elder's pupils constricted. He did not expect the other party to take the initiative to attack. He did not dare to hold back anymore. The people behind him attacked crazily. At the same time, he also roared angrily, and majestic energy surged out of his body. To be honest, no matter how powerful the other party was, they had 3 elite mighty figures this time. As long as the 3 of them attacked with all their might, they could definitely suppress the other party. Boom! The black-robed elder took the lead and stretched out his palm. Buzz! In the sky, an incomparably pitch-black palm pressed down, and the entire sky turned completely dark. Humph! You're just a firefly. How dare you compete with the sun and moon? Lin Xian sneered and punched out. The terrifying fist carried black flames that filled the sky and blasted out fiercely. Boom! The two collided and thunderous sounds echoed in the sky as terrifying energy erupted. An extremely powerful energy swept out in all directions. Countless cracks appeared in the surrounding space as the terrifying energy swept down. The warriors in Tianxing City trembled when they felt the impact of this energy. The weaker ones directly knelt on the ground. Ah, damn it! However, amidst the violent energy, there was a crazy roar. The black-robed elder kept retreating, stepping on the void. His palm directly exploded. Blood dyed the void red. Then, Lin Xian slammed forward again. "Kid, you're courting death." Another elite shouted angrily. This was a middle-aged man. He held a red long sword in his hand and quickly rushed over to kill. Buzz! The long sword swept across, and the red sword light swept across heaven and earth like a divine red, sonorous and deafening. Boom! Lin Xian's palm slammed into the sword chi that filled the sky, causing a resplendent light to erupt. A terrifying voice tore through the void. After the deafening explosion, Lin Xian's palm didn't change at all. It was still grabbing forward in an overwhelming manner. On the other side, the middle-aged man was sent flying while vomiting blood. "You want to capture me with just the two of you?" He really overestimated himself. Lin Xian sneered as he looked ahead. "Brat, don't be so arrogant." At this moment, another earth-shattering roar was heard. The purple light shot straight into the clouds, drowning out the entire world. Then a figure appeared. This was a young man. His eyes were incomparably cold, but no one dared to underestimate him. This was not a young man, but an old monster that had lived for more than 1,000 years. He was an elite almighty, and he was the strongest among the people who came this time. The purple-robed ancestor was actually him. Seeing this purple-clothed youth walk out, many people exclaimed in surprise. The elders of the Zhao family also frowned, because the purple-robed ancestor was indeed not simple. His strength was incomparably terrifying. Therefore, for a moment they were a little worried. They didn't know if Lin Xian could withstand it. Indeed, this purple-robed ancestor was very powerful. He was even more powerful than the two elite almighties from before. His angry roar shattered the mountains and rivers. Boom! A large purple hand reached out to grab him. Heaven and earth instantly split open, and a terrifying aura pressed down below. The kings of Tianxing City trembled and couldn't stand at all. He had some strength, but it was not enough. Lin Xian nodded slightly, but his eyes were full of disdain. How dare an elite almighty act so atrociously in front of him? In the next moment, he also stretched out his palm. Endless aura surrounded his palm. One after another, stars began to appear in the sky. The astral palm was an ultimate technique used by an almighty of the Qiyu family. However, at this moment, when Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul, its power was hundreds of times more terrifying. When he stretched out his palm, heaven and earth were completely covered. Only the stars could be seen spinning one after another. It was as if the real universe had descended into the human world. Heavens, what kind of technique was this? Wasn't the astral palm an ultimate technique of the Qiyu family? How did this kid know it? Many people exclaimed. The people of the Qiyu family were even more crazy. Damn it! The astral palm was indeed their family's ultimate technique, and many people had practiced it before. However, they couldn't hit the opponent's terrifying power at all. More importantly, how did the other party do it? However, now was not the time for them to think too much. Wretched cries rang out in the sky because those spinning stars were releasing a terrifying pressure that enveloped the entire world. In an instant, many martial artists' bodies were pressed into a bloody mist by these stars and exploded. Boom! Boom! In an instant, at least 30 kings were killed. Moreover, there were even more screams. This time, not only the Chiyu family, but even the martial artists of the other 3 families were affected. Damn it, this was impossible. How could he be so powerful? Countless people screamed crazily, and the faces of the elite almighties became incomparably ugly. In an instant, more than half of the people they brought were dead. Moreover, it was still going on. It wouldn't be long before all of them were killed. This made their hearts bleed in disbelief. These were all the elites of their families. They were the hope of their family's future. But now they were all killed. A red star descended, bringing with it endless flames as it flew towards the black-clothed old man. The black-robed elder roared crazily and slammed his palms out continuously. One after another, ghost claws tore through the void and attacked fiercely. However, it was useless. The red star was like a sun, burning fiercely and directly enveloping the black-robed elder. Then it was completely refined. What? Even the elite almighties were killed. The death of the black-robed elder had a huge impact on them because he was an elite lord. He was definitely a peerless powerhouse with unimaginable strength. But now he had been killed like a blade of grass. Who was the other party? They didn't dare to think about it. Therefore, in the next moment, those who were still alive screamed crazily, "Run, run!" At this moment, revenge and the mission of their families were all thrown away. Survival was the most important thing. However, could they escape? The area within a radius of 10,000 miles was completely enveloped by Lin Xian's astral palm, forming a heaven and earth cage. They could not escape at all. Therefore, the ordinary kings were all killed very quickly. The almighties could not survive at all. Now, only 5 elite almighties were left. They were from the 4 great families, and 2 of them were from the Chiyu family. Thank you for your rewards, monthly votes, and recommendations. Chapter 2263. Now, there were only 5 elite almighties left. They were from the 4 major families, and 2 of them were from the Red Moon family. The other 3 were from the 3 major families. At this moment, the 5 of them were gathered together, and their expressions were extremely ferocious. They were covered in blood, both their own and their subordinates. Damn it! The 5 of us should join forces and attack in the same direction. I don't believe that he can fight against the 5 of us. The purple-robed ancestor roared crazily, although he had delicate features. His small face was ferocious like a demon at this moment. Purple extreme, demonic art. The purple-robed patriarch used his most powerful technique as soon as he stepped forward. The other 4 elite almighties also used their best ultimate skills, not daring to hold back at all. Heavenly Rainbow Sword. The middle-aged man waved the long sword in his hand and released terrifying sword lights, one after another. Sky Demon Fist. The demon roared. Immovable Mountain. Terrifying divine abilities burst forth, and the crazy energy between heaven and earth swept towards the starry sky. Lin Xian looked at this scene and sneered disdainfully. Now it was over. Destroying the stars. Boom, boom, boom. As his voice fell, the stars in the sky exploded in his palm. The entire universe turned into chaos. The space within a radius of 10,000 miles was completely torn apart, and an endless black hole appeared. As for the 5 almighties, they were completely drowned by this violent energy. Boom, boom, boom. The violent energy between heaven and earth lasted for half an hour before gradually dissipating. In Tianxing City, all the warriors were lying on the ground, their faces pale. When the energy dissipated, they stood up from the ground and looked at the sky in bewilderment. In fact, they had already thought of this. It was impossible for the 5 almighties to survive such a violent energy. However, they still had to verify their thoughts. Sure enough, when they looked up at the sky, the terrifying spatial cracks in the sky had already healed. However, The figures of the 5 Almighties had already disappeared. Only clouds of blood mist were left in the sky, turning into a rain of blood that fell in Tianqing City. Looking at this scene, everyone was stunned, because at this moment, their feelings could not be described with words. The 4 major families, hundreds of kings, and so many elite almighties were all killed in an instant. This scene was like something out of a legend. They couldn't believe it. Lin Xian waved his sleeve and descended again, returning to Stellar Sky City. Countless people looked at Lin Xian with fear in their eyes. The young people of the Zhao family felt their scalps go numb. The elders of the Zhao family became incomparably respectful. Among them, the great elder hurried over. "Lin Gongzi, please." Their attitude towards Lin Xian was completely different now. Previously, he respected Lin Xian, but that was because of Murong Qingqing. However, things were different now. The strength that Lin Xian had displayed had definitely surpassed that of an elite mighty. At the very least, he was at the pinnacle of the Almighties. Such strength was incomparably terrifying and worthy of their respect. The group of people once again returned to the Zhao family. Murong Qingqing and Lin Xian also made their intentions clear. "You want to know the reason for this beast tide?" Hearing this, the first elder narrowed his eyes. At the side, Zhao Zhiruo's eyes flickered. "This beast tide is indeed a little strange, but I really don't know the exact reason." The first elder shook his head. "You don't know?" Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing were a little disappointed. They originally thought that with the status of the Zhao family, they should know something special. They didn't expect that they didn't know either. Then the first elder left. Zhao Zhuo also left, but before she left, she said, "Junior sister Qingqing, don't be anxious. I'll help you ask around." Sure enough, half a day later, Zhao Zhuo returned again. She said, "My grandfather wants to see you." "Your grandfather?" Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing looked at each other. Then Lin Xian asked, "Is it a clue about the beast tide?" "You'll know when you get there." Zhao Zhiruo smiled mysteriously. Then Lin Xian and Murong Qingqing followed Zhao Zhiruo, and the group left the pavilion and walked towards the depths of the Zhao family. The entire Zhao family was very large, so after walking for half a day, they still hadn't reached their destination. However, Lin Xian realized that the surroundings had already changed. In front of him, the Zhao family was dotted with palaces and pavilions as if it was a palace. Behind them, there were very few sights. There were forests, mountains, waterfalls, and flowing water everywhere, as if it was a paradise. Not only that, he also realized that the spiritual energy here was far more than that of the outside world. It was also denser than the spiritual energy outside the Zhao family. In fact, there were some spirit beasts around at all times. They were all cute and harmless. The little furball in Zhao Zhiruo's arms was also whimpering. However, at this moment, Little White also came out of the black earth and jumped onto Lin Xian's shoulder. It looked around with its big black eyes. Obviously, the little guy had smelled the scent of some spirit fruit. You have a little white ball too." Zhao Zhuo turned her head and exclaimed when she saw Little White on Lin Xian's shoulder. It looked similar to Snowball in her arms. However, one was a monkey and the other was a lion. "Come here. I'll give you a spirit fruit to eat." Zhao Zhuo was very experienced in raising pets, so she flipped her palm and a red fruit appeared in her hand. When Little White saw it, it flew over with a whoosh. It jumped onto Zhao Zhuo's shoulder, hugged the spirit fruit, and chewed happily. Zhao Zhuo looked at it and liked it very much. However, at this moment, she realized that something was wrong. That was because the little lion in his arms actually began to tremble slightly. Its black eyes looked at Little White with a trace of fear. "What's going on?" Zhao Zhiruo was extremely surprised. The little lion in her arms had a very strong bloodline power. It was born as a one-star king. In the future, it might even become a peerless demon king. Therefore, she liked it very much. She even took care of it personally. But now, this little lion with the potential of a peerless demon king was actually trembling. It was afraid of this monkey. Thinking of this, Zhao Zhirua gasped. What kind of background does this monkey have? Could it be even more terrifying than the little lion in my arms? She didn't know, but her beautiful eyes were fixed on the little white monkey. Little White hugged the spirit fruit, glanced at the little lion, and then made a face. Then, with a swoosh, it returned to Lin Xian's side. So fast! Zhao Zhirua was surprised that she could not catch the other party's trajectory. A mutant of heaven and earth. This was definitely a very terrifying mutant of heaven and earth. She did not expect that not only was Lin Xian powerful, but he also had such a terrifying pet. Aya, little guy, long time no see. At the side, Murong Qingqing was also happy. He picked up Little White from Lin Xian's shoulder, hugged it in his arms, and kept rubbing it. Awu, awu. The little white monkey seemed to be enjoying it very much. Murong Qingqing was happy to see it. He simply followed Zhao Zhirua and hugged Little White in his arms. The three of them chatted and laughed as they walked for a while. Buzz! Suddenly, two figures flickered in front of him. Two figures appeared and blocked his path. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.